Good morning. Welcome to Banter with RichiebB Live.
Somewhere beyond the beaten path, beyond the whispers in the woods and the stories around the fire, lurks one of the greatest mysteries of our time, Bigfoot. For decades, legends have echoed through the forests, footprints left behind, sightings that defy logic, and questions that demand answers. But this isn't just folklore. This is a call to investigate, to explore, and to uncover the truth. Banter with RichiebB isn't just another show. It's a community, a movement, a hub for genuine research, real conversations, and boots-on-the-ground discovery. Every episode dives deep into evidence, expert interviews, field investigations, and the drive to seek what others say is impossible. If you believe in asking questions, if you're ready to get your boots dirty, and if you think the unknown deserves more than just a passing glance, then follow Banter with RichiebB. Stay informed, stay sharp, and maybe, just maybe, be the one who finds the truth hiding in the trees.
I love you, baby Jack. I want you guys to keep climbing. I love you, Mama. Bojo's gonna get us out of here because that's what he does.
That's right. Nice meeting you all. Thank you for being on here. And yes, we are home of the phone. Let's go.
Good morning. Welcome to Banter with RichiebB Live.
Near these huts,
Yep.
there is something going on here.
Behind us after. The trees were fucking moving everywhere. Yeah, bro. Goosebumps.
Maddox, you were with me. We looked this way. It was not like this.
Welcome to Banter with RichiebB. Yo, what's up, everybody? Oh, yeah, that's right. He's back. Yeah, we've seen it for a while. Oh, I'm live. Look at that. Say hi, Wojo.
Hey, Wojo.
Good evening! Ha ha ha! What's up, everybody? Welcome to Banter with RichiebB Live. We are continuing my mama and Nay with another amazing lady researcher. I am super pumped to have our guest here tonight, Miss Mary, or maybe it's Mrs. I don't know, I have to ask, I guess. Mary Fabian's here. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the show. And it would not be Saturday night on Banter RichiebB without some technical BS. That's right, Jib. Radio voice is early. Whenever radio voice comes early, you know there's something going on. Wojo has come in. I had this big dream of grandeur, right? I was going to have Wojo host the whole show, and I was going to be the co-host, right? Because he had reached out to Mary and liked her stuff and all that stuff and asked her to come on our show. And it was kind of his thing. So I was like, yo, man, I got an idea, right? Well, technology says otherwise because I can hear him, but he can't hear me, which is probably a good thing if you think about it. If you think, let's try it. All right, he came in. I don't know if he can hear us. Let's try it. Hang on. Can you hear me? He cannot hear me. Your phone's terrible, and you should wear a hat. I can say all kinds of things. Oh, can you do it like that and just hear sound? Oh, I can hear you. All right, hang on a minute. Let me see something. All right, hang on. Let's hide. Nope. Audio only is on for Wojo. Are you there? Nope, I can't even do that. Yeah, so he's having an issue anyways where we can hear him, but he cannot hear us. I thought I fixed his audio and can issue it just a minute ago. Is it still messed up? Yeah, he cannot hear me, but we can hear him. I don't even know if he's still here, actually. He might have just left. But hey, what are you going to do? Technology does what technology does. Anyways, let's do a little rundown, everybody. We're going to do a little advertising. We're going to get Miss Mary in here, and Wojo will work things out. Matt, if you could reach out to him and help him out, that'd be great. Let's do our thing, right? Banter, the Banter family. And again, I showed you guys the other night what I found on Mary's page, and it said exactly the way we believe in doing research. And that's what made me so happy and excited. Not that I wasn't already. I'm always happy and excited. But when I read that and I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly how we think. You don't have to think like me to be my friend. I'm open to everybody, but it sure is refreshing when you're in this field and you're doing this research to have somebody believe in being happy, believe in having fun, believe in sharing. So we're gonna hear all about all her adventures. I got some photos she sent in. We're going to go over her book. She's an author, and we're going to check all that stuff out. But if you are out there right now, I'm going to bring up the Cobble Mountain Critter Festival, July 7th. It's coming up quickly. June 7th, excuse me. It's coming up quickly. And Wojo and I are guest speakers there, and I'm going to be roaming around questioning, having a conversation with everybody. It's going to be an amazing event. It's for a great cause to get the kids back outdoors, man. All that, any money raised goes into the children that, wilderness projects, just different types of things. Tim can tell you, I've read it over to you 1,000 times. Get them away from those screens and get them out in the woods. So that's what that is. We're super excited to be on the guest list, the guest speaker list, on June 7th, Cobble Mountain Critter Festival in Russell, Massachusetts. Please join us. If you cannot be there physically, I've told you 100 times, click that notify button on my YouTube and you will be there live. The next event after that we will be actual hosting MCs of is the Charm and Fair Farm on June 21st and 22nd in Candia, New Hampshire. We will be running around causing all kinds of chaos, as you know how it goes, especially when we get out into the wilderness together, right? Natural habitat, as they say. I was going to bring Wojo in and have him say hi to the guests, but I got a new co-host tonight. Would you guys like to meet her? Mary, buckle up. This is how it goes on this show, and that's okay. Also, we're on Dark Realm TV. Please subscribe to Dark Realm TV. We are on every Roku television, every Amazon Fire Stick, all over the world, worldwide. iHeartRadio, Amazon Radio, Apple Radio, Spotify, top 25% for visual last year. Please keep that going. Go over to Spotify, check us out, give us a like, love, hug, whatever they offer, and be part of the crew. All right. So thank you so much. Let's just bring in our guest and oh wait, Wojo's here. Hang on 1 second. We're gonna do a test. Test 1, 2. Sorry, man. Oh, it's amazing. Listen, this is exactly the way we do our show. It's funny because this stuff is like almost not expected technically, but pardon me, effery, right? So let me bring my new co-host in because Wojo was just fired. And Mary, you mind coming in now? Wave your hand. You don't have to save me. I could just ramble all night, but I would love to have you come in. So welcome, everybody. Mary Fabian, please. Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Was that amazing?
That was a nice introduction.
You're going to learn very fast on how we do things around here. It's kind of like you get that drill, you know what I mean? So
yes.
We're very laid back. We have a lot of fun. I mean, we don't worry about being professional, but we're not jerks. You know what I mean? So, I mean, look what we all go out in the woods running around looking for. It's not exactly a professional thing, right? Let's say hi to this is my new co-host, Mary Fabian. She comes on a podcast, and look what's happening. Oh, and I'm not even shy about it. Here we go. You ready? Let's go up to the top. We're going to say hi to Ghost Girl. That's our friend Brandy. She's been out Bigfooting with us. Mary Newbert, I've known forever. Love you, Mary. We'll go down the list here. Oh, Big Andy's in the house. Say hi, Big Andy. Big Andy. Sam, that's one of our producers right here.
Okay.
So we got Sam as our producer, and Bobby Lee is the co-founder and executive producer of the show. And they're awesome. These people, you know, I'm already getting into interviewing. I can't help myself.
Go right ahead.
But it's like our family. These people, like they go on our lives and YouTube. Do you have a lot of that you find?
Yes. Yeah, I have a lot of steady people who come onto my podcast, and it's wonderful because we know each other. We've been researching together. You know, a lot of them live out in, you know, down in Alabama and so on and so forth, but Tennessee, but you know, we love each other. Yeah, we all support each other.
Isn't that amazing? And it's funny because I heard you hesitate when you wouldn't call them followers, right? That's what you hesitated at, right? You kind of stop, like, I have people that follow me, but that's what other people say. But I do the same thing. I don't say that. It's weird. I stop and I'm like, these are just my people. These are my friends. You know what I mean?
Exactly. They are. You know, we're all friends.
I love it. I love it. This is Wojo's brother, Matt. He's the one hopefully going to rescue us tonight with Wojo. You know, because Mary's just might as well just take over the show. These guys don't want to listen to me for an hour and 45. This is Ben. Oh, Ben, what's up, buddy? Ben is from the UK.
Oh, okay. Hello, Ben.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. He's awesome. He's amazing, an amazing talent with technology. Gene Tewksbury. Do you ever heard of Gene Tewksbury? Ghost from the Ghost Cat?
No, I've heard of Tewksbury. Isn't that a town or something?
Oh, that's very good, Mary. Mary's done her Massachusetts homework. Yes, Tewksbury is a town in Massachusetts. You are right. And the funny thing is, it's up by the Maine border, basically.
Oh, okay.
And Gene is out of Maine, and she was researching big cats when they said that they were kind of extinct up in Maine and they're not there. And she's like, oh, no, I saw one. And she's she's been doing this a while now, and she's sticking to her guns, and she's become a Sasquatch Bigfoot researcher as well.
Awesome.
Oh, she's amazing. So I love having her. She's been on our show as well. She says hello to you.
Hello.
Oh, and here is D Hoot. D Hoot's another one. D Hoot's out of Texas. She goes on our YouTube live adventures with us a lot and tells me what to do, right? And keeps me in line, right, D Hoot?
Hey, D.
D Hoot.
And what part of Texas is D Hoot?
Oh, she gonna correct me, but I'll let her tell you. That way I don't mess it up. D Hoot, what part of Texas you out again? I have it too in my head. And maybe Austin. I'm gonna say Austin and get yelled at. Sam says hello to you, Mary.
Hello.
Martin's here. My boy Martin. I met Martin out of New Hampshire. He's had all kinds of things happening on his property as well. And he was listening to my show, and now we become friends. He's been out researching with us twice. I'm going to go up to his place and hang out. And he's met my whole family, you know.
Cool. Hi, Martin.
He says, welcome, Mary, and thank you for representing the ladies. Oh, Ghost Girl called him Martian. Hey, Martian.
Okay.
Hill County, Austin area.
Okay.
I got to do it.
I don't think I've been through that area. I've been to Texas a couple times, but I don't think no, as a matter of fact, no. I've been to San Antonio, and I've been along the Red River, Houston area, but that's about it.
When we go out in our lives, it's crazy. I have people from, I think, France, India, Russia, Scotland, UK, a lot from the UK, a lot of UK guys. Oh, yeah. It's all over the world. It's crazy. Crazy. I have someone come in with these different languages. I'm sorry, I don't understand you. Could you put that in English? You know, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. But, yeah, it's been pretty nuts. We were out there one time, and we came out of the woods. It was a Sunday afternoon. I was like, Wojo, look at this. He's like, what? I said, we almost had 5,000 viewers. Like watching us live in the woods. And it was a great investigation. We have a lot of fun, but we have like 6 people here, like they're moderators. The little wrench, and they'll start because some people just come in and they have nothing to do and they just want to mess with you. You know how it is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, pain in the butt. So what I'm going to do is, let me see if, I don't know, Wojo's probably getting some help. So I apologize for not having Wojo, and I apologize you're stuck with me.
That's fine.
I
hope to speak with Wojo also.
Yes, I hope you do. Wojo is an amazing human being, and I've known him for 20-something years, and he was watching my show. It was just me doing my show, and I enjoyed that. And he took a great interest in what was happening. And my executive producer was supposed to come on an investigation, and her son got COVID or whatever it was, and I think it was COVID. So I called him up because he had so much interest, and I had known him from softball for many years. And I said, hey, do you want to come on? I want to do a show called, Bigfoot with a Fan. And he's like, yeah, I'd love to. Impromptu. The very next morning, we were out in north central Massachusetts looking for Bigfoot. And it was me just saying, hey, you look, you tell me what you see. You've hunted for many years. And he came back and he was astonished with the things that we were seeing. He was blown away. And time went on, and I said, I think I need a co-host. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know if I needed one. I just felt like it was the right thing, and it just clicked. And here we are. It's been great. Wonderful. And he's a fan favorite, and I'm just the guy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm just the guy. So no, he's amazing, and I hope we get that squared away, because that would be a bummer. So I want to pull up something. Let's pull up your book, okay?
Okay.
Because I got some questions. Oh, where is it, Richard? I got some questions. Let me see. I'm in my drive here. This is Restream. This is what you got to do, right?
Okay, I can hold it up.
Oh yeah, you can hold it up too.
Right. Well, it's backwards, I think. But.
Oh, it could be backwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. What
you mean. The view I see is backwards. I don't know what the audience.
All right, I got you, Mary. Oh yeah, it is backwards. That is funny, huh? So
there it is.
So Mary, you're from Pennsylvania.
Yes.
And you. This is what I'm saying. I'm going to jump around a little bit. This is what I do. I ad lib. I do some research. I don't go crazy. I just want to learn about you as a person. Like we're just hanging out by the fire. That's my goal. And that way it's more genuine and organic. And I just love it. So I'm fascinated with you in a sense where I'm looking at your book right here. What I've learned about Bigfoot, 50 years and counting.
Yes.
Where did it start though? So where do you go? Like, is it your backyard, like my story? Is it a TV show that triggers it? Like, what made you think of Bigfoot?
Well, my very first sighting was whenever I was 11 years old.
Oh.
And it started there. And wasn't quite in my backyard. It was, I lived on a farm at that time. And I was hiking out along the gas line trail at the back of the property, and crossed the road, and I was heading out to a friend's house. And I just saw a Bigfoot. He came out of the woods to my right, crossed over the trail that I was walking on, and he stopped and looked at me. Huh. And then he just continued on.
Wow. So
and that was really about it.
So you were 11 years old?
Yes.
And how far away would you say he was from you? Which is a basic question, but I'm curious.
Let's see. Well, Western Pennsylvania is basically like West Virginia, where it's all hills and hollers.
Understood, yeah.
And I was standing on a hill, and in between us was the holler. So maybe about 50 yards at the most.
So that's close. So you could see things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so was it like a big guy?
Yes.
Like a big man, say.
Yeah. Well, at that time, I thought it was a man wearing a black fur coat.
Makes sense, right?
But it was the month of May, and it was warm, so it didn't make sense why he was wearing a fur coat. But to me, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And facially, his what confused me was that he looked similar to the Neanderthals that you would see, like on TV or something. He had, the lowbrow ridge.
Yep.
And paler skin. I think it had like a grayish tone to it. But, you know, it was, to an 11-year-old mind, it was a very large man wearing a black fur coat.
Wow. So that's just amazing. And you caught and you connected with the eyes.
Yeah.
So he went like that to you, so to speak. And you were just like, and looked right at him.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked right at him. I didn't feel any fear or anything. Right. He didn't do anything to scare me. He just stopped, looked at me, and then just continued on into the field on the other side.
That's wild. Now, have you ever, before getting to your other sightings, like if you saw that one, yeah. I've asked this before, would you, I don't know, would you ever, like if you saw him again, would you be able to say that was him?
From 50 years ago?
No, but I mean, like the features, I'm just thinking like features of them. Do you think, all right, so all right, let me get a little more in depth in that. It's kind of a throw-in question, but yeah. So do you feel they all look different?
Yes.
I as well. So I feel they're primitive human, right? Is that how you kind of feel that? I mean, what do you, like primitive humans?
Yes, up to a point, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So mixture then. You think mixture?
Definite mixture. Yeah. Yes.
I have to agree with that. Because what I've done, I haven't had that experience. So that's all right. So I have seen them run by and go that way. Mm-hmm. I have had all these other experiences. I have not had that 40, 50 foot, hi, my name's Rich. Nice to meet you. Please don't kill me. That's, that's what I'm looking for. But you know what is funny is I don't get that feeling as well. I'm not afraid. I don't have that. You know what I mean? That's that fear. I think I just saw Wojo. You mind if I try bringing Wojo in again?
Right ahead. Yeah. It's your show.
That's your show, Mary. Stop it. Welcome to Banter with Mary Fabian. Wojo.
What is why is my face frozen?
Hey. Oh, he disappeared.
I did that. He thinks he did. Is your face frozen?
I'm frozen.
No, you're not. I can see you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys, but my face, you know what? Screw
all right.
My face.
No.
All right.
Hey. Hello. Welcome to Banter with Richie B. Welcome, Mary Fabian. Yes, we are home of the boom. And by the way, you know what? Now I'm in crazy mode. Now I'm in crazy mode. Get out of the way, Angawa.
Oh my God. What is he doing?
There's a big party here. Hey, everybody. Say hello. You're on worldwide. No lie. Say hello to everybody.
Big party where?
My backyard. Arriba. We'll talk about what channel, all right? Yes, so welcome to Banter with Richie B, live and in color. And all right, back with the show. How you doing?
He's having a party. Is that because Mary Fabian's here? You threw a party?
Oh, it's Women's Month. Mary Fabian's on. Let's get this show on the road.
Oh, my God. Well, everybody, Wojo's here. Oh. See that? You see what happens here, Mary? You see my vibe and his vibe? You see what's going on?
Oh, I am full of vibe right now. You should have heard me off the radio. The party.
No.
We heard something there.
Yeah, Mary, you should tell him what we did to him, and he doesn't know. Go ahead.
What we did here?
Yeah, what did we do to him? We brought him up, and what did he do?
Oh, yeah. He brought you up, and then all you said was the F word.
That's normal.
We clicked the button, you go right there, freaking. And you didn't even know you were live worldwide.
Exactly. Well, hello to the world.
Hello, Wojo.
I'm here.
Love you,
buddy. And welcome Mary on the show. Hey, Richie, how you doing?
Dude, great to see your face. Good to hear your voice.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man, you should have heard it. Matt says you should have heard him on.
Yeah, I called my brother Matt. I could tell. I had him on speaker, and he was like, "Oh boy, all of my town next door. That's where he lives. They can all hear me over there."
Yeah, I bet. Well, anyways, we're ready to go. So I got Mary's book up on the screen, and I'm fascinated with Mary herself. I don't know if you heard about her first encounter, but it was amazing. And 11 years old, and then, And how many sightings have you had altogether, Mary?
I have seen 5 individuals, but one of them I've seen 3 times.
And, well, that's kind of like what I was asking. Like, it's the same one, right? So,
Yeah.
like when I see you, I'm like, oh, I recognize that face. It's Mary Fabian. Is it kind of like that?
Yes.
That's amazing. So, why do you feel that you get to see them 5 times, say, right? Think about it, right? A lot of people don't see them their whole lives and they look forever, right? Do you feel chosen or mocked, or, how would you explain that?
I know that there are different theories as to that. Some say that, only if you have Native American blood in you, then you have a better chance of seeing them. Or another theory is if you are tagged or zapped, hit with infrasound, that your DNA is changed and they tag you, in other words.
Is that the second time we've heard that, Wojo?
Yeah. Marked, tagged. Yeah.
So I've been zapped on a few occasions.
Yeah.
To where I was in bed for exactly the same amount of time, both times, 3 to 4 days. The first time, Wojo was freaking out, like calling people trying to get help, because I went to my doctor, got blood work. The whole I'm like, this is it. I'm done. This is the end. My only friend. The end. Like, I thought it was over. I'm saying bye to my family. Like, none of it made sense. And it was right after we had the experience where one of them ran right by us on the left. And I had called it before. I said, I hear something to my left. We got up, boom. And I look up and I just could see the back I got a black shirt on today, so I could kind of do it. I just saw it kind of do this and do that. And it was like almost pushing the trees behind him in order to like hide himself better as he ran.
Yeah. It
was crazy. So if you pick up a rubber welcome mat and you see that, that's about what I saw. I didn't see like strands of hair. I'm not a bullshit. I tell you what I saw. That's what I saw. But I was like, and then boom, within 24 hours, I was in my bed, curled up in the fetal position.
Yeah.
And 3 or 4 days went by, and he calls me, hey, I Googled it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Your symptoms. I'm like, he's really into this, And he talked to the Vogel brothers, a few other people, and what he was explaining was I was zapped, and that it happened twice to me. And lo and behold, they were right around us. I think the second one was when they ran by us on my property, Wojo. So I was there 3 or 4 days, same exact feeling, same exact amount. It was brutal. Now, have you been zapped?
Numerous times, yeah.
Is that the symptoms maybe that you
have? Different people are affected in different ways.
Yeah.
And I know others who are affected that badly, such as you. But for me,
excuse me.
Sometimes I'll get a migraine. Sometimes I get an upset stomach. Sometimes I feel dizzy and disoriented. Just different things.
Probably like heavy chested, like you feel like you're squeezing your chest. You feel just your ears are ringing, and
or intense pressure in my head. Sometimes just like your head is being squeezed.
Yeah, Wojo had that out in the field for the first time, I think, like 2 investigations ago, Wojo.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, and because I don't know, it's just feeling fine. Everything's normal. And I'm, Richie's on live, and he's about maybe like 20 yards ahead of me, and then all of a sudden I could the ring, and then it just got louder through my right ear, and then both ears were going crazy. And then I was feeling like this, nauseous, and my chest was squeezed. And I go, Richie, I was explaining to him of what's going on, because it just happened. It's that fast. And just said to start meditating and, talk to them and what have you. And believe it or not, I was just meditating like, hey, I'm your friend. We come no harm. And it started like just going away. And I'm like, you got to kidding me. Like, it just went away. Like, I had the goosebumps.
Yeah, you were crazy that day. I'm not used to him saying anything, and then all of a sudden he's like, Rich, and I'm like, what?
Oh, it's
And he's like, he's telling me all his symptoms. And I'm like, he's doing it right in the woods. And I'm like, this is weird because he's never had anything like that. So I was kind of taken aback by that as well. So I believe that's a thing. And what I experienced was a thing. And everybody like yourself that I speak to it's a thing.
Oh,
And
yeah, it's definitely, yeah.
How is that possible? Do you feel that would put them on a different frequency than us? Because we're all energy, right?
Yeah, although they can do it, there's other animals who can do it, who can
Correct.
put out infrasound.
Right. A giraffe, for instance.
Exactly.
A giraffe, I said. That always blows my mind. A giraffe has infrasound.
Yeah, turkeys, tigers.
Yep.
Tigers use it to disorient prey.
Yep.
I
think it's crazy. I think it's the whole idea of it's just nuts. So
it's science is what I tell people. It's not paranormal. It's not what you call woo.
right.
It's actual science. A scientist from NASA discovered that Bigfoot puts out infrasound. He was working on infrasound experiments with the space shuttle at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And he noticed that his coworkers were reacting in a way similar to what he's experienced with his fellow Bigfoot researchers.
Interesting.
And so he made up his own primitive infrasound detector at that time.
Right.
Took it out with him into an active area and pointed it towards where the Bigfoot were and how, whenever they were putting out infrasound. And yeah, he discovered.
That's very interesting.
I think, think about that. And that's one thing I tried to explain too. And we had a whole show about that in the sense where I was talking about infrasound and all the different animals that use the infrasound. And like you said, and I didn't put it, of course, I don't put things in, eloquently or anything. I'm not very eloquent. But, the way you said it was so crystal clear that's simple. It's science. That's the scientific part of this.
Yeah.
Infrasound is something that animals that we know of use. And I'm not saying he's a total animal. I'm just saying he has infrasound. That definitely is the case. We had our whole team in a circle as we were leaving one day talking. And we weren't close to being out, but we were out close enough. And we were all talking. And then all of a sudden, we all stopped at once. Is that you, Wojo? That's one way. That is one way to get yourself kicked out of the club, Wojo.
No, I don't know what that is.
It wasn't for me.
Listen, it's the show. This is where it goes, Mary. But we literally felt a vibration come through the whole crowd. Okay. There was 6 of us, I think. It was 6. And we were all standing, and everybody at the same time looked almost to the center of the circle at each other like, did you just feel that? We didn't just feel it. We heard a hum. And it came through the whole crowd. And we all hit it at once. And I thought that was an awesome piece of evidence because it's all personal experience. Right. But there's everybody at the same time. And you can, again, we're on our live. And I'm going that's what I love about YouTube Live because it's unedited, uncut, no BS, right?
Yeah.
So it's all right there. You can't sit there and manipulate anything because you're experiencing it with us. And you can watch our natural reaction as these things happen. What I want to do is I want to get to your book because I want to get to your pictures. And then we're going to end it with your book as well because I think it's important that everybody finds knows where they can find your book. Where can we find your book? It's called What I've Learned About Bigfoot, 50 Years and Counting by author Mary M. Fabian. And then I'm going to ask you a couple questions about your book. But where can they find it?
You can find it on Amazon. Just type in Mary Fabian and the word Bigfoot, and it'll pop right up.
I think that's awesome. So when did you write this book?
About 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
And what in one sentence can you tell me what you've learned about Bigfoot?
One sentence basically is I'm still learning.
Yeah. Well, I think that's an amazing answer, and that's an honest answer, and I love it. And that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and you've had 5 visual encounters, and you're still learning, and that's the beauty of it. It doesn't go away, right?
Oh,
because you saw it.
Yeah, you're always learning, you're always adapting, and the thing is, you have to be adaptable in with Bigfoot, with learning about them, because, whenever you first start out, you may think, oh, okay, they're a flesh and blood creature and that's that, and because that's the way I was. They were an animal or a primitive hominid,
Mm-hmm.
and that was that.
Right.
But time and experience goes by, and you experience other things that they do, and it's then it becomes, okay, there's a little bit more to this than just flesh and blood animal. Although they are flesh and blood, they are more also.
What's funny is it's amazing what, again, with what you said, Wojo, you've been experiencing this with me. We have absolutely moved in those directions that you just listed, basically, where you're adaptable to the situation, adaptable to the evidence that you're presented. You have to be. The self-illuminating eyes, the excuse me, some of the woo and all that. All those different things that I was just like, nope, I know what I heard in my woods. It was walking around. It's got legs. It did this just like a living animal type thing, primate, all that stuff. And I have gone so far away from that moment that I just shared with you, that, and I'm okay with it, because it is adapting with the evidence that we have found. And Wojo, speaking for yourself, you feel that same way, because we've had this discussion, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all also the context of everything. Every situation, between, we hear the whoops going back and forth, or tree knocks, or actually like the humming, the whistles, the movement, and you get adapted to all this. And I just feel like this brotherhood, sisterhood, relationship, because we're constantly going back to the same area. I mean, I have no reason to go anywhere else, because we know there's a lot of areas that are being tree structures, so on and so forth. But I'll tell you, it's just so awesome to build this relationship as of like our gifting chair. What they're doing with, I know some people don't like leaving out gifts, but we don't live nearby there. So, but my point is like leaving out certain rocks and them going into the peanut butter jar, and flipping the rock up. The rock was on top of the jar with peanut butter on it, including the stick that they use as a spoon.
Mm-hmm.
But when we went to our last investigation, we found the jar on the ground, but the rock, the flat side, was flipped upside down underneath the chair. And you also have the cover that was covered up. Don't elder. And so it's like a relationship. Like they moved one of the rocks and they took it to a spot where they grabbed the zinger, and they ate it right by this brook. But they left the rock on top of a bark to say, hey, that was me. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a lot of things out of the gifting area, and we've had recorders there, to record them. You can hear them. You can hear their footsteps. You can hear the sounds they make. Mm-hmm. You get to learn things, kind of like a Jane Goodall theory.
Yes.
Because I'm not into no bodies or nothing. I don't care about that crap. I don't want to hear nothing about that stuff. It's terrible. But Jane Goodall did it with the mountain gorillas. She didn't go in there with a gun and shoot them and bring them back and investigate them or research them.
Although she did not feed them, she did not. They learned very quickly not to put food out because one of the primatologists who works with Jane Goodall and trained with her in Africa is a good friend of mine, and he said that they learned very, very quickly, to not put food out, because that changes the way that they react to you. They become something else. You change their behavior, their nature, and how they react to you, rather than just the way that they are as a natural creature. And so, they don't. In fact, I highly discourage not to put food out.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, and we've heard that before, and everybody is free to say anything. You know what I mean? And even with the theory that you have, it's completely acceptable and understandable, and makes great sense. Like I said, when I first did it, I was a complete newbie. I mean, it was a rookie move that I probably shouldn't have done because I didn't know what I was dealing with. Could have been a black bear and ripped me out and eat me. Where's my cookies, fool? I have no idea. And all that stuff is acceptable and understandable, and I've been through all of that stuff.
Yeah.
However, with what we're dealing with, we don't know it's a mountain gorilla and it's going to react like a mountain gorilla. We don't know that. I feel it's way more intelligent. I've had a lot of different things on recorders come up to where there was intellect and even language. Not having my 50-foot experience, I have had a 75 to 80-foot vocalization conversation between two of them.
Oh, cool.
One with Dave McCullough from he's an investigator in our area.
Mm-hmm.
He was with me, and then there was an author that was doing a chapter on me, so to speak. And we sat there listening to them talk to each other. And it was loud, it was abrupt, it was about us. And at the end of the sentence, they let out this loud, it was a chest pop. It sounded like almost like a knock.
Okay.
But it was definitely a chest pop because I knew where they were located, and they were more in those stick bushes that I was telling you about. There was not just grab a perfect stick and hit a perfect tree. It just wasn't going to happen. So I knew it was like that at the end of a sentence. The other one picked up where that one left off, bigger, deeper voice, had a language. And then when he got done, he did that loud pop, and that was it. Conversation was over.
Very cool.
It was amazing. And I didn't realize how big that was at the time until I spoke to people that have seen him and said, I've never heard him talk. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm crazy. You saw him 40 feet away. That ain't fair. You know, we all want the other guy's gut. So I guess my point is, in a sense, we don't know what that behavior would change when it comes to them.
Right.
Scientifically at this point.
Yeah.
Percentage-wise, you're probably closer than we are. Right? You're probably closer to what the answer would be than these two schmucks in the woods looking to make friends with Neanderthals. You know what I mean?
Well, you learn by doing,
You do.
and you make mistakes and you make strides,
Mhm.
and you learn what to do and what not to do. I just go by how I was trained by my mentor, and so that's the way that I go. Plus, it was more instinctive on my part that one was coming around my home all the time, and it was frustrating. But everyone kept telling me, "Oh, go put a peanut butter jar out for them. That's what everybody else does."
Mm.
And it just felt wrong to me. It felt disrespectful,
Mm-hmm.
and so I never did.
Yeah, I think what we did it for was in the name of research and to eliminate the possibilities of other creatures.
Right.
So if I put marbles and stuff up and they're moved around, then it could be many things, right?
Right.
If I put a jar up that has to be open, there's no claw or teeth marks. It tells you something needs a thumb in order to open it, more than likely, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Then if I leave a stick there,
Mm-hmm.
and they use that stick, and I have proof that they've used that stick by what's in the peanut butter and what's on the stick when I find it, now I've eliminated a lot of things.
Well, there are other animals who can and will open a peanut butter jar. A raccoon surprisingly can.
They say that, yeah. But I think with them they'll leave a lot of marking and stuff like that with their claws and teeth trying to get it open, as opposed to big dude just whip. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that is a discussion we've all had, and that's the beautiful thing about our lives, Mary. We have this conversation right there. Everybody all over the world is giving us input about what raccoons and different animals and what do you have in your, and your squirrels do this, and we have great conversations about it, and that's what I love about it, because we all get to learn together.
Yeah, you do. You really do.
What do you use? I'm sorry. What do you use? I'm curious now. What do you use on your gifting stones?
I will usually just leave rocks or feathers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's about it. Sometimes an apple.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it.
Have you had like our producer Sam is the same way. She's leaving the trinkets and things like that, and we're kind of watching her. And she was our first guest on My Mummer and Me, and so she has a lot of cool things going on in her area. So we've been watching how she does that. You know what I mean? What kind of results have you gotten from that? Do you have
feathers in return?
Interesting. I love it. So we've had feathers there for a while, huh, Wojo? And they really haven't messed with the feathers too much, right?
No. My brother, he had a couple of hawk feathers tied together and we left it there. And so we just hung it up by a little twig, just, for them. And it hasn't been touched, but it's there.
It's there.
And it's there and it's theirs.
Yeah.
It's out of respect. And
it is out of respect. And we've done that. And we have you see on the side, Elder. Hi, everybody on the side. Sorry, I'm just enjoying this conversation. And you're part of it. Elder Medicine Bear Claw, she's someone that has also guided us with a lot of different things. And I'm sure she feels the same way about the food. But it's, she has given us other ways to show respect, sent us like tobacco and stuff to sprinkle.
Right. Yeah.
So all kinds of cool things like that. So we do try to do our best to keep it real, but try to be researchers in a way to where we can get information that I guess is, the percentages. I play the percentages a lot.
Okay.
Like structures. How do you feel about structures?
It depends on the structure, but you really have to study it.
Correct.
Because in my humble opinion, I think that 99% are naturally made, like for wind or snow load or something like that. But then the other ones, once you study them, then you can see that they've obviously been manipulated.
Right.
And then you have to make sure and study them a little bit more and make sure that it's not possible for a human to have made something like that.
Right. We have Tim Vogel on here. That you probably see the name. Tim and Eric Vogel are part of the Cobble Mountain Critter project, and me and Richie happen to be out in Western Mass into the area and to do some researching out there, and obviously the landscapes are a lot different. They're in the mountains, and different landscapes, different trees, higher trees, so on and so forth. And we had this discussion with them about tree structures and things like that. And believe it or not, they flat out weren't, into the tree structures. Like some are not into tree structures, which is fine. And the only thing is, it's just in our area, which is like more woodland, flatter. I've been out in the woods most of my life, but I've never seen how certain structures that we find, how they're like tied together, intertwining, barely like on knots of trees, these 25, 30-foot X's that are like just touching, like I said, like little knots from the pine trees, just put into place. But all the other, the dead branches are not like broken off, meaning it's not like slamming where you have like physics, velocity, distance, and all that. Like you don't see tree breaks, scrape marks of the bark, things like that. And if it was human, well, first of all, it's kind of crazy out in the middle of the woods, but you would find, you probably would find a bunch of beer cans everywhere, a campfire nearby, something. Know that there's been a lot of humans in this certain area that are like, trying to manipulate trees. But yeah, so on the structures themselves, especially your gifting stumps, Sam, she gets small X's by her gifting stump. Okay. And we've seen small little sticks of X's on the ground near the gifting chair. And it's like a sign of respect. Do you get that in your area?
We'll get the different, primarily in the one area that we hit up on a steady basis. The Bigfoot there, they'll take saplings and they'll tie and intertwine the tips together, or else they'll tie them onto a hunting stand, to block, so that you're not climbing up into the stand, sort of like a barrier.
Yep. We got a story about those.
Richie, you'll talk about that one.
Oh my God. No, you're right. It's crazy. Well, I've always been a big structure guy. And the reason why I have been, because I found some pretty elaborate stuff on my property that made zero sense. And one of them is called the Dream Catcher. And if I can find a picture, I'll show it to you. But this is more about you than me. But so I became a structure person where I started and it's kind of like what you said. I always tell everybody, start at the top, start with it being weather.
Yeah.
And eliminate as you go. So your percentages of it being weather go down, not your percentage of it being a structure go up, because you're going to end up Bigfoot. You know what I mean? And you didn't no one ever watched Bigfoot make nothing. Stop it. I ain't never seen him make but I have to be honest. I have sat there and went, there is no way the magic whirlwind did that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I get into that, and it is scientifically, it's nothing. Pictures are very difficult to prove anything.
Oh, yeah.
You really got to be standing there to follow it and see where it goes. Like you said, watch them intertwine and stuff. If you even get a picture of that intertwining, it's still tough to present as a picture.
It really is.
Yeah.
And unless you really get a good angle at it where you can see where it's sort of like Jenga or pickup sticks, where they're all intertwined, like you were saying, Joe. It's amazing, but the thing is, I never say, once you work down, okay, that it's not weather, it's not human, it's not this and not that. What else are you left with? Well, possible. It's possible Bigfoot, it's possible that it's something. But since you haven't seen it directly making that structure, with your own eyes, you don't know, what exactly made it. So it's only possible that it was Bigfoot because, they've got opposable thumbs.
Right.
Pretty strong.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. And like we're talking about the hunter's chair up in the woods and up in the tree. And we've gone by this particular area a bunch of times. And we've seen his little hunting thing, and he's got his little reflectors, and he's got his game camera over there chained to a tree and all that stuff. And we go by it with my brother and stuff, and it was fine. We went by it again like a couple weeks later, and there was all these 90s, like something, and it was all aimed towards the chair. Okay. One of it came from behind the tree into the back of the ladder that goes up to the chair. And I said, look, a dude's trying to tell him to get the out of here. And that's what he's trying to say, But it's funny you would bring that up, and that's the first time I have somebody actually bring that up. Where
Gary, just imagine, like you look at this, you just look at this coned area, and it's like nice and flat, like just beautiful, open, and then you look to your left, there's like hunt the tree, but like Richie said, next thing you know, this whole area just like whoa. Like someone dropped a bomb.
Yeah.
Especially right by his area.
Oh, yeah.
His game camera. I mean, you're going to see the stackings of the trees, like, these 35-foot trees stacked. Like, it just, I've never seen anything like it. It's all
this area is wild. And one of the things I found, and I don't know how you feel about X's, and I don't mean X's. I mean the actual letter X in the tree. I've had some of those that have been pretty elaborate too. They're 40 feet and they're on two little trees, like at the top, kind of leaning on them.
Okay, yeah.
Crazy, right? And then something goes straight across the middle of it, like in the back. And you look up and you can't see it. It didn't go down the tree. All the branches would have broke, right? And then there's this other type of X that I have found now only twice. And I got a picture I'm going to show you. I want to see what you think of it, if you don't mind. And then I got some pictures of yours we're going to share as well.
Okay.
So here, let's see if there it is. So do you see this X right here?
Yes.
Right. All right. So the cool thing about this X, I'm going to see just because the picture might come up small. This is what I call an interlocking X. So one side of this X is on the back of the tree. The other side is on the front of the tree. And and the same with the other one that crosses it.
Okay. Yeah.
So to me, Mother Nature is not going to do that. It's not going to happen. I mean, it's a very. I'll give it 1% to be fair and stay scientific,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you'd have to agree that's pretty low, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's only the second one I've ever found. I found one on my property years ago, and we just found this one a month and a half ago, maybe in our research area. But that's something there, I think, that, you know, the extent of the science of it, right? Because it isn't science, so you have to try to get as close as possible. And I think with this one here, I'm like, dude, there's no way. Interlocking X's are just crazy. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to share that with you.
It's pretty cool.
Thank you. We have a lot of fun stuff. You would enjoy yourself out here, except for the peanut butter. That was Wojo's idea. Sorry about that, Mary.
Throw him under the bus.
Freaking Wojo. I told you not to do that, dude.
I know.
I'm like, let's do peanut butter. I know. You know, it's funny because we've had so many back and forths about that, and we've had so many back and forths about the game camera even. And I'm not a game camera guy because I did the game camera game on my game trail. And I know something was going on because I have a picture that I don't always present to the world because it could be controversial. It doesn't hold much. But I believe it reached around and set the camera off and left the trail of the hair. You could see the hair and the split ends in the hair.
Yeah.
And it's illuminated white.
Okay.
And that's what I have for a picture. And that's what I believe it is. And I didn't share it with anybody because I was always so scared to be wrong. You know what I mean? So
well, the hair color, that's interesting.
It could be because of the light kind of popped it off, but I'll show it to you on the maybe on the side, but everybody's going to yell at me to show them. And even though you've seen it before. So
I can see it.
Yeah, so it's really cool. But so here's the trick with the game camera. They have played with me on that damn game camera. I couldn't tell you how many times. And I got flanked twice going to get the card. Have you ever been flanked?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, right? And I try to explain to people, flanking is very nerve-wracking.
Yes.
I felt safe like I'm going to live, but I'm scared shitless, pardon me. But I was. And I went out there one time. There's one here. And I'm like, okay, let me just get this card out here real quick. And I put it in my pocket. And I back out down the game trail. You know what I mean? And I come back the next day, and the game trail's blocked off with a pile of broken fresh saplings and thorns. Yep. They've now changed my game trail. Yep. And they're like, no, you're not going to do that no more, sir. That's what they were like. And then I got triple flanked. Triangle. Ooh. Yeah, triangle. 2 out front, 1 behind me. So I put my hands up. I built communication at this point. Yeah. I'm going to leave, guys. This isn't very nice to surround me. I'll voice it with the manager later. But I got to go that way, and dude's got to move. And that's what I said. Yeah. And hand to God, he moved. Yeah. So it's the best thing to speak to them and let them know your intentions as well as the hand signals. Because, they will understand both. They understood. And that's what blew my mind. That's another thing I didn't talk about until I met Ernie Davio. And I think you must know Ernie Davio. Yeah, I know. I own her. Yeah. Amazing story, Ernie Davio. Yes, absolutely, yes. And his hand signals. And when I told him that story, he was like, bingo. And I'm like, I didn't know. I just did it out of, respect. I felt I was being respectful by showing them I had nothing. And I, as Wojo would say, we come no harm. Whatever the hell that was. But that's what he yelled out to Bigfoot one time. Bigfoot's running around us, and we have 2 of them running around us. And what Wojo does, he grabs a thing of zingers, he holds them up to the sky and goes, we come no harm. That's what happened, Mary.
Here's your friend.
Yeah, that's on YouTube Live, Mary. The whole world saw it.
I'm sitting there talking on Richie's like, you said what? And I can see the move. They're like to my left. They're very low. And they're still moving. You can hear the snaps and everything. I go, Rich, they're still here. Yeah. But I'm holding up the zinger like this. I'm like, well, if you're still here, and just give me a
I'm the one with the zingers. Kill them.
Yeah. And they whistle back and going, I think we better go.
No, it was pretty wild. But that's what happened to me. So the game camera game became crazy. But we've moved this game camera around a dozen times, and we kept moving it high, low, over. Here's a question I got for you. Does Mary? Oh, what's this? Does Mary F find? Let's see this. She gets more interaction when you're exiting your area. Interesting.
Very
See
good.
who believes we do.
I don't know. It's if I'm by myself, then yes. If I'm with other researchers, then no.
Did you say by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh boy. You go by yourself?
Yes.
That is amazing.
Including about entering.
That's amazing. She goes by herself, Wojo. I wouldn't even go by myself.
I almost wanted to go by myself.
Oh, really, Wojo? Fine. Go ahead. Go by yourself. Whatever.
No, I had to stick by rule number 1.
Never go alone.
I know. I break my own rule.
All right, so we're even. We feed him peanut butter and you go alone.
Yeah. Yes.
Shame on me.
Yes, I got it. Woo. That's for you, Wojo. I got it. We're good. Well, I think that. So when you go alone, is it away from your property alone, or are you on your property and go? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what? Well, people go hiking all the time, so I understand that. But we know what we're going out there for.
Yes.
All right.
The intent.
Do you believe in wood knocks and whoops while you're out there by yourself? You do any of that stuff, or you just listen?
Oh God, no! I learned my lesson.
Oh, do tell.
The one time, when was it? 2013, something like that. Someone had mentioned to me about a TV show that was on, the Not Finding Bigfoot TV show, and they were telling me how they do whoops and they bang on trees and so on and so forth, and I thought, oh, okay, well, what the heck? I'll try that. And so I went a couple miles from home and did a couple whoops, and nothing happened. Didn't hear anything in reply. And I waited around for a little bit. Nothing happened. I went back home. 2:30 in the morning, I woke up to something banging on the wall of my home right behind my head. And then something banged on the other wall. And then something else banged on the other wall and another one. And then something smaller running across the roof. And this went on for about a half an hour. And my husband, God bless him, was deeply sleeping right next to me. He would not wake up.
Oh my goodness!
But he worked construction, and he worked long hours. Getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock, and working until 7 o'clock at night. And
oh yeah.
So yeah.
So he was out cold. So you feel that this was associated with?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, all I can figure is I had crossed a line, and I probably went up into their territory, and they felt that I was trespassing or I crossed some line somehow, some way, and they were telling me about it.
They were letting you know.
They were most definitely letting me know.
Right.
And so from then on, I'll whistle sometimes, but that's about it. I don't bang on trees. I won't do whoops or anything like that.
I think that's. I'm sorry. I think that's amazing because I've met almost 50-50 with this discussion. And I think it's based on everybody's own experiences as opposed to the written rule. Yes. I came out of my house after a while, and I've told you, and building a relationship, and I would hear a tree knock. One knock. And I went, and then it would happen. And I go, oh my God, they're telling the other ones I'm coming out of my damn house now. Yeah. So I put 2 and 2 together. So I went out there one day and I saw, okay, you want to knock on a tree? I'll knock on a tree. So I did. I knocked on a tree after they knocked. And then everything went silent. I said, oh, okay. All right. They didn't come get me or anything. So the next day I didn't hear a knock. So I walked over to the tree and I went, boom, and I knocked on the tree. That nice echo crystal knock.
Yeah.
And son of a bitch, within 5 minutes, I got a knockback. And we did this back and forth for 6 to 8 months, all the time.
Do you ever hear whistles or anything like that?
I got them. We have them recorded. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have them recorded. We had one run by us. I found a print. I smelt deer pee. It was the only time I don't really smell much. And then all of a sudden lately I've been smelling stuff and I go, oh, that smells like really strong deer urine, you know? And I looked down and there's a print in the mud. I lifted this big fern leaf to show Wojo. I said, Wojo, come on over here. I said, oh, there's that smell. And he's like, what? I go, smell. And then it went away. And then I went, oh, shit. And then it came back and I went, oh, shit. That means it's moving. Yeah. So I said, dude, it keeps going, coming and going. He's like, uh-oh. And then 50, 60 feet behind us, through the woods, bullet fast, bang, bang, bang. And you just turn around like a goosebumps right now telling you the story. And I turn around, I'm like, oh, you know, and you react. And then I looked at Wojo and I said, he quieted right down and went in a corner and hunkered. And then I said to Wojo, I go, now they're going to have to come get him. And he goes, what do you mean by that? And we're sitting there and like 20 seconds later, we hear this long, elongated whistle come through the woods. And I went, there it is. Because then you go, what the hell's that? And dude over here is like, chicka, chicka, chicka. It's a game that they play, and I've been in this game before.
Oh, yeah.
I got a question about that incident, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
A house away, which was like 3 football fields away, a dog started barking. But he didn't bark when I screamed and yelled. He didn't bark when this thing ran through the woods that was louder than my yell, I think. Do you think they have a way, like with the infrasound, to trigger that dog to kind of distract us too?
Very possible, yeah, that they probably, who knows, they may have hit it with infrasound, or else he's learned from experience to fear them, which is a good thing because they'll kill dogs.
Right.
Yeah, mine has had her own experience with them, while we were out.
I was going to ask you about that because you sent pictures of your dog.
Yeah.
So when you say you go alone, do you go with your dog?
Sometimes, although not anymore. She's absolutely terrified of them, and I'm not going to put her through.
Yeah, understood. Aww. So she's been there when they're around.
Yes.
Any of your sightings has she seen?
I think she probably saw it, but I didn't. At that one time, that one instance.
Could we interview your dog, please, for a minute? Excuse me, puppy. And what's her name?
Her name is Sinead.
Sinead.
Yeah, like the singer, like the
Sinead O'Connor.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Yes. You like Sinead O'Connor?
No, it's.
She sounds like when someone asks me if I like Wojo. I go, no, he's just my co-host.
It's the meaning of the name that I.
And what may I ask? Is it too personal? I'm not trying to be personal.
No, she's a border collie.
Okay.
And so I looked up a Celtic name, Scottish name, and her name means God's gracious blessing.
Oh.
And she.
Is it $2?
No, I'm not going to get into it. That's something that's really personal.
Yeah, no, that's what I said to you. That's why I said you didn't have to. But thank you for bringing us up to that point. Thank you.
Just the name, her name.
Beautiful name. It's her name, not the singer. Is this her right here?
That is Sinead. Yes.
Hello, Sinead. She's beautiful.
And I sent that photo because it's where she saw her Bigfoot. You see where those trees are at the.
It kind of opens.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was standing there, just at the edge of the campsite. She had squatted down to pee, and I saw her turn her head because she must have seen something below her. That's a bluff right there. And immediately she jumped up and ran straight to me, panicked look in her eyes, her tail tucked.
Yeah.
and she was just shaking.
Yeah.
So I unhooked her from her lead and put her in my truck where, I knew she would be safe.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's no need to put her through that if she's that
No.
scared.
In a bluff charge, I mean, did the Bigfoot or whatever was out there?
I think she meant geographically that's a bluff.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a bluff.
Yeah, we've had bluff charges actually out of
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
so have I.
you have. Does it sound? Did it give you a huff like? Oh,
That one, no.
did it make a sound at all?
Nope, this was a juvenile, and he was doing it to divert my attention from another one that was crawling up behind me.
Oh goodness!
And I'm trying to divide my attention because I knew exactly what he was doing.
Yep.
And doggone that one crawled up underneath my truck, and so I stood next to the wheel of my truck so he wouldn't grab my foot.
Oh my God.
But I couldn't move from the area because there was a disabled lady with me, and I wasn't going to leave her.
What did I just hear? That's absolutely astounding. So
that is.
So, well, no, because it's scientific proof of what we just discussed about the diversion tactics, the flanking, all that stuff is real.
Yeah.
So at that time, 100% that there's a low crawling, right? It obviously has to be. Do you think it's the spider crawl or belly crawl? You probably didn't get to look too much.
No, I really didn't see it, but I smelled him underneath my truck.
So you knew he was there.
I absolutely know he was there.
What? Yeah. That's correct. And you position yourself safely behind your wheel so he can't grab your ankle. Think of that thought process, Wojo.
Yeah.
Like no, like I'm jumping up in the bed of the truck if there's not a camper on the back. Like I'm out of there. I'm telling you, I'd be on a chair like it was a field mouse. Gotta go. It's like you used to see in the old WB cartoons. Quick question. The dreams interpreter, Miss Dee Dee. She's amazing. Please, everybody, follow her on YouTube.
Yeah.
Question for you. Question for your guest. Has she ever had a dream that connected to a future Bigfoot experience or maybe with information after an investigation?
Interesting.
Love this audience. Go ahead. My people.
Interesting question. Not that I can think about, although I have dreamt of them. I don't think that I've really dreamt of anything that connected with an experience that I've had, at least so far.
Have you had those sketchy dreams after having had an encounter? Because the first time it happened to me, and maybe it was just the excitement of it, with an experience, not like a sighting like yours, but I was doing those gray, black, flashy dreams afterwards, and I didn't realize what it was. I just thought I was excited. Yeah. But someone else shared the story with me about them having their encounter, and then when they went home, it wasn't just excitement. They kind of got woken up like they were experiencing the creature all over again, like it was real in a sense. And like I said, it could be just because it's so imprinted on your brain.
Could be.
But I've had those flashy dreams after experiences, even when I was zapped. I remember kind of waking up like and I don't usually do that. You know what I mean?
Spiritual type of dream.
Say again?
I mean, a spiritual type. I mean, I don't know. I mean, sometimes maybe they're still trying to connect you one way or another, and that your memory in the back of your head is trying to process when you're sleeping. And then, Dee Dee, if you're on here, what I just said, does it work?
Yeah. So, Dee Dee's a dream interpreter, exactly as she says.
Yeah.
She helps you set your intent before bed, things like that. And she's absolutely amazing. We've been on her show, and she's just amazing. She's just awesome. We have so many awesome people on the side, friends,
friends, resources, you name it.
Fellow investigators, because I actually did a show one time with all the people that come out on my live investigations as the guests, because they were the virtual researchers and they research with us. They put headphones on, they watch us on the screens.
Yeah.
They see things and they interpret things differently too, as well.
Right. They're invaluable. They really are.
We have to keep in mind too, though, they're going to be they're using a frequency because, hey, pretty girl.
That is
Hi, Sinead. Is it, well, Wojo scare her? Oh, Sinead. It's okay.
throw me a bone.
He's a big teddy bear. We cuddle all the time. Don't worry. Yeah. So, but they also have the gift of the frequency through the phone and stuff too. And I always wonder that because I was a paranormal investigator for many years.
Okay.
Before this, and the frequencies on the phones can help them more so than us, really. When we're out in the woods, you know, we don't hear what they hear, or we don't hear it like they hear it. Right. And they have even told us, and correct me if I'm wrong, Wojo, they've even told us that they heard humming or infrasound when we didn't.
Okay. Yeah, that would come across something like that a little bit clearer.
Right.
Through the microphone.
Cool theory, though, right?
And here.
I love it. That's why we teach. That's why we talk to them about being like, you're one of us. Like, you are part of. You have more ears, more eyes.
Right.
We're a team. Like, let's do this together. Like, let's go. You know what I mean?
And one other thing is that I know a few of my audience, they, some of them are disabled, and so disabled that they, one lady, she's bedbound, but they still want to be part of it. And this is one way, that they are part of it. They can't walk out in the woods, they can't hike, and or for whatever reason. But this way, they're a part of it. They're an important part.
Huge. You're right. I love, dude. She thinks just like us, except the peanut butter thing, and the going alone thing. Hey, we're at 98% friends. We're good.
Yes.
Found in dogs. Okay. There are times that we do hear the whoops and like right by where the dogs. These dogs from a distance, but there's like two of them, but you can hear four. The other two are just like it's like antagonizing them.
Yeah,
they do.
Those poor dogs. I mean, you can only like bark so loud and so hard. I keep telling Richie they're gonna keel over because they're giving them, they're making fun of them, and you can hear the difference on the pitches and everything.
Well, let me add to that because to clarify, when we come out where we're parked, there's another whole tree line on the other side. It's huge, and there's a house up here, and they have their yard lit up like a city.
Okay,
and a friend of there's a reason for that. Yes.
Yeah.
On top of that, I found a friend of mine was telling me, I cast a track over here from friends of mine on the river. And I said, really, where is it? And then I had sent him where the research area was with a pin on the map. Mm-hmm. And he sends me one back, and his pin was like 75 yards from where I was standing. And I'm like, ah! And I'm like, hey, at least we know we're in the right area. In 2021, he cast a print on the bank of the river, and it was this house that was having the issues. But to clarify, that evening, we heard classic whoops from that tree line. It was whoop! And then the dogs would go, bah, 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 bah. And I said, oh my God. That's when we started learning that these guys are actually messing with their dogs.
Yeah.
To the point where they're calling electricians. They got posts with big lights on them. That ain't something you just hang in your backyard for a cookout.
Nope.
There's a reason for that. And it's a very safe, beautiful area.
Yeah. Friends of mine down south, they call those booger lights.
Oh, I love that. See, I always loved the boogers. They call them wood boogers.
Boogers. Yep.
Wood
boogers.
Matt got a question for you. He says, Mary, have you ever had a Sasquatch throw something at or toward you?
Oh, yeah.
We had that experience, and I could see both adults who threw the large rocks and the juvenile wading towards us in the river. That's one thing he was freaked out about that night, Wojo. So we were out in this area called the Farley. The reason why it's called the Farley, it's something like, not as beautiful and wonderful as your Sinead, but we call it the Farley because it's down by the river. Do you got it?
Okay, yes, I got
it. Went up. I'm like, yeah.
So that's what. So we have all these little areas, obviously, to describe it, and also to know what we're talking about when we're talking about all our friends on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So down by the river, we go and step over a log. I was in front like a meathead. I'm the leader, scared little kitty cat, and all of a sudden, boom, we heard this explosion in the water, and it was followed by the bloop and the splash. So
Okay.
like a beaver sliding in, going, which I've heard many times.
Right.
It was a from above type of thing, bloop, and you could almost hear it going to the bottom of the river.
Mm-hmm.
Something real heavy. Yeah.
4 times.
As it goes down the air, coming back up, that kaboosh, like something heavy.
I was in the military, and it was like live fire. It was like we were under attack.
Ooh.
So I had taken a step over the log, and that's when it happened. I jumped back into Wojo's arms, like, run that way, fella. You know what I mean? Like, save me. It freaked me out pretty bad. And there was a bunch of us sitting there, and it went off 4 times.
I'm like, Richie, what did you do, Richie?
I said, I just stepped over the damn log.
We just stepped over the log. I almost stepped over Richie.
Oh, my God.
Have you seen the movie Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Remember the part where Gandalf says, "You shall not pass"?
Yes.
Yes.
We took that hint very well, respectfully to them.
Yes, we did.
And we even spoke to them. Okay. We were like, okay, easy, man, easy. We're good. We'll back up a little bit. We didn't mean to bother you. It's okay. Do your thing, We learned a lot from Ernie Davio.
Yes.
Different hand signals and things to use, and we use them.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually recorded what we sent out to a linguist, to Tim Vogel and his brother Eric, who know a linguist, that came back. And of course, he's not going to say, yeah, that's Bigfoot. He's going to say that those are vocals. Those are based on some kind of dialogue, some kind of words.
Yeah.
And it is a guttural vocal sound. Yeah. That's the best he can do. So, 98% of it, again, he's not going to say it's Bigfoot. But when we go out in the woods, Wojo will go, ha, and then I'll go, blap, blap, because that's what we heard on our recorder.
Okay.
And we have gotten amazing results from this. Like, these two idiots know how these two idiots know we talk to each other. You know what I mean? Like, look at these two idiots trying to talk like us again, and then they'll stop with a soft double tap. Have you ever experienced the soft double taps? Doom, 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 doom.
Yes.
Doom, doom. And they're almost where you question yourself. Did I hear that?
Yeah.
Well, this day we did this. He went blah, and it's on recording. It's actually on TikTok. And I went blap, blap. And then all of a sudden you hear tap, tap. And then you hear tap, tap. They were talking. They were communicating back and forth with it.
Where Richie was like ahead of me. And but again,
wild.
Right. It was like maybe after when Richie said blah, blah, about like a 15-second delay. TKB, love you, pal.
I know. I was watching and I think I missed them. Love you, bro.
Yeah. Sorry. So you can hear the tap, tap. And then like another maybe 20 seconds to my left, tap, tap. I go, oh, boy. And we sat there for I don't know how many minutes, but you could just hear the tapping going on, and we're trying to communicate. It was just fascinating.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Those double taps are
because you can hear the move too. I mean,
well, that's the key,
move
right?
Quick.
Yeah.
No, that's a key. So you've had the double tap, right? Now, question: when all these other things have happened, right? When you have you've had 5 sightings.
Yeah.
During those 5 sightings, can you tell us anything scientific that not scientific, but say like we've all talked about to confirm the evidence of, say, the double tap, of, say, the, something that is associated with Bigfoot? Has any of those things ever had happen to you, or was it just a sighting where they're like, yo, what's up, Mary? And they keep rolling out. You know what I mean? They smoking a fatty, they having a fire, they drinking beers. Like, what's going on? Talk to me. I got to know.
Well, I don't recall any particular taps or vocals or anything like that at the time. On the most part, they were, except for my first one, the rest of them were maybe a little bit further out, but still unmistakable as to what they were, except for the one that is right around here where I live. Him I've seen, well, the first sighting of him was maybe 75 yards out. And then the second and third time that I saw him, he was maybe around 15 to 20 feet away from me. But then this was late at night, and I could barely make him out in the moonlight, but I knew what it was that I was looking at. But no, he was quiet and he was deer hunting.
Oh, interesting. And that's that's the funny thing is that blows my mind, right? Like you just said, they're so quiet.
Yeah.
They're so we got the recorder. It was underneath the gift chair.
I can't hear you.
What happened? Anything? Hello?
There, yeah, I can hear you. Just that you were muffled.
Like away.
Man, I don't know what happened. I think Wojo did something to my stuff to make himself look better.
Yeah.
No, but I was amazed by where they're quiet because we had a recorder we put up underneath the gifting chair. I almost felt like I was betraying them and they were going to kill me for it. But anyways, so we had the recorder under there. One comes up. We have sounds of footsteps. You can hear it, the pads. You know it's bipedal. You know it's big. And the dude just chills out. And I'm like, is he still there? I mean, aren't these things supposed to be huge? How come I can't hear him? And then all of a sudden, like 15, 20 minutes of silence, you hear them start opening things. What the hell? And then he goes quiet again. And then you hear him eating it. And you can almost hear him inhaling. Like that.
Okay.
Then silence again. And it's like 15 minutes of, I'm telling you, headphones like this, I can't hear nothing.
Yeah.
They're that still for like 20 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I hear the honey jars get jingled. We gave him honey too. Don't be mad, Mary. And shit, I shouldn't have said that, Wojo. Now we're in big trouble. Mary's never coming back. We have a Bigfoot grocery store in the woods. Mary's disgusted with us. She's like, you feed them honey too, you ass. It's natural.
Yes, it is. It's from the area and natural.
Again, Wojo's idea.
Singers.
So,
peanut butter.
But you could hear him inhaling the honey and tapping the glass.
Very cool.
We have this on recording. And it was funny because I sat there listening to it. And I was like, oh my God, I feel like Jane Goodall, but I'm not there. Meaning I'm learning about things through research that they have these tendencies and techniques.
Right.
Mind-blowing.
Very primate-like.
I'd have to agree with that.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that kind of keeps me going that way. But I'm like, the intelligence and do you think they cloak?
It's possible, or it's possible that because of the qualities of their hair, that they refraction of the sun, who knows? I don't know, because their hair is hollow. And
correct. That's in my picture. That's how I figured it out, that because there was no medulla.
Yes.
No medulla. Yeah. It's not in there in the picture. Right. And I took that picture and I compared it to primates and humans and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's why I said, whenever you mentioned the hair color, I thought, interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
In dark brown, and then that reflection of the sun, you turn like a blonde.
Well, but with the IR2 of my game camera that night, it made it like a microscope, to where you were microscopically looking at this. And I tried telling everybody, follow the white strands. There's split ends on them.
Yeah.
There's frayed ends. Like they're frayed. It's not. Yeah. Come on, guys, help me out here. Like I'm like losing my mind. It was it's so amazing, such amazing stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really is. Truly is.
Mary, just actually a few questions.
What does he want?
So what we found were manipulated huts.
Hi, pretty girl.
Also, in one of the huts, because we have compost, you can see a print that we measured, and we found bones nearby.
Mm.
Now, do you have anything similar like that, where like a huttish, like out in Central Mass, we found 4 of them, like it looked like a hotel, and where the pine trees were manipulated, going like this, 3 sides, and they pulled extra branches off the pine tree from its knot and placed it on top to keep it down. And Richie went in there underneath, and it was like about, what was it, Rich? 6-7 feet, like.
Yeah, I would say it was about 6 feet deep and 9 feet long, because I was full stretch, arms, toes, everything.
Okay.
I didn't get a lot of smell out of it or anything like that. People have asked me that stuff, but you could tell it was an impression. And I got some pretty graphic pictures of it to where it was almost 3D effect, where you could see the dip in the three. Because I use Scaniverse. Do you use Scaniverse at all?
Is
For
that
footprints?
no? There's a an app on your phone. Can't remember what it's called. LiDAR. It's LiDAR.
Yeah, like a LiDAR. They have because we use a Scaniverse, but I think the LiDAR one would be a good idea too. Ooh, I didn't even see Wojo. This is why we talked to Mary.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
I told you we should have talked to Mary.
This is why it's Women's Month. It's great to pick, their research and see, how they do things. But going back to those huts, is that manipulation, whatever. I'm not going around going it's Bigfoot, but I found that very interesting, so I took pictures and what have you.
Yeah.
And so when you have resources, and I have a friend of mine that works for the forestry department at the University of Georgia, and down in the south, if there's any invasive bugs that's destroying the trees and whatever, that's what he studies. So I keep showing him all sorts of like pictures, and especially these huts, and he's like, Wojo, I've never seen anything like that. I'm out in the woods all the time, like for 25 years. He goes, I don't know what's going on in Massachusetts, but these pictures are absolutely like incredible. So have you seen like any sort of like type of like manipulation of like hut-like and any evidence of like prints or bones around it?
Yeah, what I've seen is more of the, I guess you could call it TP types, where there's tree branches or sticks leaned up against the tree, basically leaning up against a tree or a fallen tree or something like that, where it creates more of a blind rather than a hut.
Yeah, because the ones that we have seen, we see the laurels, around the wet areas. We had one. Well, we have a group of 3 or 4, and this is right in our research area here in the Bridgewater Triangle, where he was talking was North Central Mass, and we have my very first print, this lump of junk that I made my first time. The poor thing, I ruined it. Anyways, whatever. I kept it because it was ours when we got it and we made the print. But anyway, so we've come a long way since then. But we also found through Scaniverse another hail print that was in the ground, in peat moss and mud, and it kind of led to this group of laurels that you would see them all bent, but they were open on the inside, and they actually had little exits on the back. And the back was all water and wetland. We found a bone out front. There was about a 17, 18-inch print in the leaves, the most profound one I've ever seen in compost ever, and my whole area is compost, was in this hut. And stupid me, I think I missed a good chance here, because I went back there, and up there's a branch about 6 feet up. It goes like it's a laurel. It goes like this, and then one goes straight up from that, like this.
Okay.
And there was a mushroom pulled from the ground with the roots and dirt hanging on it, and the cap was balanced on that stick right above my head.
Really?
The cap and stem, yeah. And I looked up and I went, "Oh my god!" I got pictures of it. It was a gift.
It was wicked cool.
I think I blew it with the gift. I think it was a gift, and I just missed it.
Now, how high was it?
How high? It was about 6 feet up. It's up here.
About 6 feet up. Easy.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't crazy, but it was pulled from the ground in place. And the cool part was the cap was placed beyond the one that stood up. So here's this, and the cap was wrapped around this one, and the stem ran down the laurel going that way.
Perfectly balanced. I mean,
it looked like it was placed just hooked on that stick and then laid across the laurel. But
interesting.
It was exactly right. How many times you end up saying that? Too many.
Have a lot of times. Whenever with Bigfoot, heck yeah, interesting.
Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. So I got some. Let's see, unknown cryptid. What's happening? Good evening, everyone. I believe Bigfoots are the hall monitors of the woods when there is a lot of developing going on, and that's why they're attracted to those areas and try to run people off. I disagree. I think they do. Welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah, they'll mess with the machines, with the construction machines, and so on. In fact, whenever we were building our home, I kept an eye around the foundation, the loose dirt, because I figured, well, there's an off chance that they may come by here, because I had seen a lot of sign in the area before we moved here. And so I figured, well, you never know, they may come on the property. Well, lo and behold, yeah, I found footprints in the dirt on the foundation.
That's crazy.
I hear that too, Patrick.
Yeah, I hear it too. What is that? Is that? It sounds like peepers or locusts.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
What is that?
I don't know.
And not for me.
So, Richie, Mary, excuse me, unknown. I'm sorry, what was his name? Unknown cryptid. I mean, it's a great question because of when you talk about like equipment and things like that. Well, there's a junkyard nearby, and this gentleman has a bunch of equipment out there, but where the gifting chair is, about 100 yards away, there's like maybe like a 45-foot stacking of trees that's probably about a little over 3, almost 4 feet high, with the letter X there. And like I said, just things like that, that are just right by a junkyard. I mean, I totally agree. I think that they would, like uncrypted, like unknown encrypted, excuse me. That's like there's some paths, and there were times that someone had a quad out there, and we heard it for the first time, and I'm like, oh geez, I go, who's riding that around here? And then the following, not even like 3 days later, Rich, you got a big, huge tree right smack in the middle. Pushed, I mean, it looked like because the explosion. I mean, this is a very healthy tree, probably like over 20, 25 inches in diameter. Pushed. That's a 90 degree, right smack in the middle of the pathway. Yeah. And there's other spots where there were pushovers, and I find that kind of amazing. That they are that's it. That's their home. That's
exactly. That's what it is. And funny how so many trees fall just across the path.
Yeah, we've had this conversation, huh, Wojo? So
I'm sorry. What was that?
Go ahead, Mary. Say again.
It's funny how those trees seem to always fall across the paths, our footpaths or trails.
Yeah.
Or
that's what it is.
The locust is gone.
That's what distracted me. Like,
what is happening?
I don't know.
What is happening tonight? What is going on?
Bigfoot's gonna come on.
This podcast is usually nuts, but this is backwards and sideways. I almost said nuts. I shouldn't say that. So anyways, we've had this conversation. So what they did to my beautiful land, Mary, with that preservation and conservation land, they decided to make paths through it because everybody has a right to the land. Okay. Yeah. Which is fine.
Yeah.
But we don't cut down fresh trees to do that. We go around those fresh trees, or we wear bigger boots. Yeah. I don't agree with that 100%. And we've since filed a grievance because of that. Not only that, they entered our property and took about 20 feet of it out without surveying, apparently, because I own that land and I wasn't happy about them being there in the first place. But, so I said to Wojo, I said, oh, my dudes aren't going to like this. And he was fairly new, and I'm risking sounding like a loon. And I'm like, they're going to be trees all across his path. Watch, next time we come out here, I promise you, dude. Mm-hmm. We go back there. The trail has a sign on it saying closed for construction. I'm sorry. I said, watch, bro. Me and him are hopscotching over all these trees. And I'm like, nice job, dudes. Like I'm so psyched because I love those woods. They're sacred to me.
Yes.
I don't want people in them like that. Just walk through the damn woods. You don't need a path. Buy boots. Yep. Jesus.
Yeah, you don't need people like jogging into the woods like this one guy we saw like jogging. Like, get out of here. What are you guys really? I mean, there's plenty of roads. There's plenty of tracks around towns. And you pick this area to like chop it up and just to run around into the woods. But Mary, what was fascinating is this one part that we call like the dead zone of the path. It's like a football field. The one corner of this football field never ever gets touched. you should have seen like everything was just like all across the path. I go, Richie, what the hell just like the whole? I'm talking about a good. If I was going to do like a survey of an area of maybe like 50 yards around, they destroyed. I couldn't believe like they blocked the path.
They were not happy. I knew they weren't going to be happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been
found
very
a crystal that was placed into a tree.
Oh yeah. Have you ever? All right. So when you go out, how far away are you from civilization? Would you say on average? Say
It depends on where I'm going, but
right.
The Allegheny National Forest civilization is maybe an actual town, maybe 20 miles.
That's crazy. So, and Allegheny they're very haunted places. The Allegheny, was it the Allegheny? Is it psychiatric hospital or something that was out there?
Oh, yeah. That's down in West Virginia.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. But it's it's very haunted, and that name Allegheny kind of comes with it. And you're in the Allegheny forest. That's scary. So scary. So, but I guess my point is this: we haven't gone back to my property a lot because, like I just said, there's been a lot of human activity now, and you know that takes away from the evidence. You have to now account that into a tree break. Right now, you're gonna be like, oh, humans are out here. When I had my experiences, there was nobody, never, ever out there. I had owned this property since 2002, and it started ramping up around, I'm going to say 05, 06, 07. And it could have even happened right when I got there, but I was too ignorant to realize what was happening around me and didn't think much of it because it took a while for it to build up to where it was like, oh, that must be something. You know, and then here I am years later. It was about 8 years where I really started having my interactions with them. And then I lost a son in 2022. He was stillborn. And I always tell this, he gave me my inspiration. He helped me follow my passions. He helped me kind of get up out of, pardon the phrase, the fetal position off my bed and live again. Yeah. And this is why I started my podcast, was to honor him. And that, thank you. And it was off, but it's so therapeutic and it's so amazing because I feel chosen.
Yes.
Do you feel chosen by them?
Yes. Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, and that's you kind of touched on one of the reasons why I named Sinead, because I lost my son in 2017, and I just, about 6 months later, I needed something to cuddle. I needed to mother something, and so I got her.
Well, that's amazing, and I'm sorry for your loss as well.
Thank you.
And thank you for going there. I hope you don't feel forced at that. I'm very open about this, and I've spoken a lot on my show, and I think it's therapeutic to sit down with people like yourself and talk about our passion and our love for what we're doing.
Yeah.
It helps.
It honestly does.
Thank you.
Just going out, into the woods alone, it's, I find my peace there. I go out and I find myself more open to God to pray. And I'm a Christian with a very deep faith. And it brings me closer to God.
I love it. I love it. And I've said it to Wojo. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Wojo. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead, Rich. Also in prayer, praying and kind of being that just, God's beautiful world, even though it is, Satan's trying to ruin it for everybody, we know. But all I'm saying is it's the beauty. It gives you,
thank you, Mary.
It just gives you a lot of, I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of a lot of things, like how I feel. It gives you just peace, and it's good that you pray.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I said that to Wojo a few times where I'm just having, and he said it to me, like, we just need to go touch the ground. We need to be near the trees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's different. It's when you get out there, like, I feel closer to Jack, and I know Jack's with me, and we always have that hawk experience out there because we know it's Jack. Yeah. And it's been amazing. I've talked to the locusts are back.
Yeah, I hear that.
What are you up to, dude? But so I just I'm so grateful for that, you sharing that, and our thoughts and love and prayer with you. And I know how, obviously, I know how difficult it is, but it's amazing to turn that around. And when I lifted myself up off the mat, I said, "Oh my God, he's looking at me right now. He can see his daddy." I got goosebumps. I don't want to cry. And I said, "I don't want him to see me like this. I want him to be proud of his daddy."
Yeah.
And I said, "All right, son, I'm gonna make you proud." And I could almost hear him saying, "Dad, tell him the story. Do what you're passionate about. Share your story." And I knew what he was talking about. And I said, "You know what? I'm going to do that." And I called Bobby Lee, my executive producer and co-founder of this. And I said, "Bobby Lee, I want to start a podcast." She's like, "I've been waiting for this phone call. You're perfect for a podcast. You're nuts. Let's go." And all of a sudden within 24 hours, I had green screens and computers and all this artwork. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I was slammed down in a chair and makeup and, all right, let's go, action. It was just nuts. And I noticed once I got in front of the camera.
And there you're looking at him right now.
What? but it was just like, once I got in front of it and I was done with my first show, I was like, oh my God, I felt so good.
Yep.
Like, it just felt so good, man. And I was like, thank you. So you'll hear me tonight at the end of the show when I talk about baby Jack and thank him. And but yeah, it's amazing. So wow.
Even with our investigations, I mean, we look forward to going out to be with them, and just, you know what, it's a good meditation, good, just to be out there. And it's just that's what I look forward to, But Mary, one thing I wanted to ask you, I think Dee would ask a long time ago. How about night investigations?
Oh yeah, good question.
Let's talk about you. Have you done any night investigations? And if so,
oh yeah, I got proof.
Yeah, we got plenty of that.
Oh yes, I've been on quite a few of them. Yeah, there's although this one came from a camera, game camera. It's a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
And that one came from the game camera from, it's called the Bigfoot Live Stream Project.
Love it.
And there's an app on both Android and Apple that you can download it. And it's just a live stream of, as a matter of fact, it's our research area.
Oh, cool.
And
so they did something totally separate, but it happened to be in your research area.
Yes.
That's awesome, dude. Oh my, see?
That's amazing.
It's just an added dimension, that this gentleman from Texas approached us because he knew that, he had heard about our area.
Love it.
And he begged, that to put up, these cameras on there. And of course we had to go, the property owners, it's an elderly couple. So, we had to approach them very carefully, respectfully. And, I said, don't push them, just we'll present the facts to them, let them know what's going on, that your privacy will not be affected.
So you're saying you went up to an elderly couple and you delicately told them that there's Bigfoot living in their yard.
They approached me.
So they've had experiences.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, yeah.
That's amazing.
They bought this property about 20 years ago, and whenever they moved into the house, there was still furniture in the house. There were still dishes on the table.
Oh boy.
So whoever owned that house before them left in a hurry. This is a very active area.
Wow. So, and everybody locally understands that probably.
Yes. Yeah, this couple approached me at a conference that I was hosting, and they asked me to come and, check it out. And so I did. And I brought in a couple other friends, a couple friends from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And we checked it over, and they've got activity. And so we've brought up photos, those photos from the camera. and a couple other ones that I didn't include, excuse me.
That's awesome. But so everybody's working together.
Yes, yeah. And whoever watches this live stream, it's 24/7.
Oh boy.
And so if they spot something, they can push the button that says right on the screen, it says report a sighting. And you push that button and it'll tag that timestamp, timestamp that particular spot. And so it can be checked out, by another researcher.
Wow. I think that's incredibly smart and brilliant and something that I've discussed with Wojo about, but not in that format.
No, yeah, exactly.
It's this guy, he's the guy in charge of this. He's looking for other properties throughout the United States. So if you're interested in it, contact you, offline, and arrange, for you to speak with them.
I think it'd be an interesting conversation. You need to take another sip? We'll wait for you. Wojo's gonna sing anyways. Here. Hey, Wojo. Show Mary how you sing.
Oh, say.
You gonna wait for the music?
Mary, all right. So, Mary, many of these actions would affect you, Rich.
Weirdo.
I have to call you Barry White.
We've heard this before. Oh yeah. You're too funny. That was excellent.
So Mary, we did our first night investigation in the same year. And when we went out there, we didn't know what to do. We were just so okay, we're going out on a night investigation. We're so excited. But then you started hearing distant growls, and then all of a sudden the branches are snapping, rah, rah. And we just sat there frozen, oh my God, something's really angry. But you can't see anything, no lights, no nothing. And then there were times that you hear little owl whoops and something trying to intimidate owls, and another one trying to intimidate a deer, like a fawn, like that. I'm like, no, that's not a deer.
Imitate,
excuse me.
Not intimidate. It's yeah, you want some of this, owl boy?
That was a fun time, man.
I missed nothing.
I think that's our next investigation. We went out, and now it's getting dark out, and we didn't expect another night investigation. So Richie had the only flashlight. Now I walked away from Richie in part of the group, and I'm on the main path, and I can hear movement on my left and to my right. And so I decided, because we were going to walk right out of the woods, and we had about less than 100 yards left. And so I decided to turn to every time I heard a sound, I gave him Ernie's hand signals, hey, this and that.
Oh, yeah.
As we were walking out, just before we walk out of the woods, all of a sudden, what are we looking at? And we just saw shines of light. There had to be about 6 of them. Okay. And one of them, Richard will tell you that that was tall.
What, orbs?
No. So what he's referring to is the woo of the self-illuminating eyes.
Okay.
They talk about. Have you ever experienced what's behind me on the wall? Where is your believability on that, and percentage-wise, and have you ever experienced it, or vice versa?
Yes, I've experienced it.
Oh.
And my personal theory is that, I don't know, I try to go through things logically. And unless you're deep in a cave, there is always ambient light. Always. And so it's possible.
It's so hard, Mary. You know it is.
Reflecting.
Yes.
She's killing me. She's killing me. She's just like me, Wojo. It's like you're talking to me. I swear to you, and I know what I saw, and I'm still where Mary is.
Right, because I'm like, well,
Yeah, it's always possible about the self-illuminating. Who knows?
but I don't see like owls to the ground, like low to the ground. I'm thinking like raccoons. I'm just thinking any animal would reflect the eye shine.
But it wasn't shine.
But
this
what?
Particularly shine. This is what's got me so stumped.
Right.
And why our boy Jackson up here, Wojo named him Jack, my son, Jackson. And he's got his red eyes. That's what I saw.
Yep.
That is what I saw. And it was about 11 feet up here. And they were all talking about the other sets. And I'm like, well, there is a house over there. I'm with you, Mary. There is lights coming off the pocket here. I'm looking for things because I go to the logical instantly. That's it. I'm like, tree knock? Yeah, I don't care. That must have been a raccoon. Like, I'm not trying to be an idiot, but I'm trying not to be like Bigfoot.
Right.
I want to learn and I want to process slowly.
Yes.
And this thing, Mary, whatever it was, I was looking around, taking it all in. I got it on live YouTube, and I look up to my left, 11 feet or so up, and there's one of those, like you see right now with my head in the way. And then all of a sudden, Mary, dude must have known. I swear it was like he knew what I was thinking. And he said, I'm going to blow this sucker's mind. That was my 1970s swear word. Wasn't that pretty good? Shut up, sucker. So anyways, so there you go. Sorry, Mary, I got ADD. I didn't tell you that before the show. I probably should have. So then all of a sudden he goes to the tree like this. He goes,
yep.
Okay, yep.
Does this, and then two appear.
Uh-huh.
And the way he did it. What am I hearing?
What was that?
What is going on tonight? Did you hear that?
And now the peepers are back.
No, I heard. I could something.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
They're following us. Anyways, so then all of a sudden, and it's almost like it was looking down at me. Like the eyes went like this. Well, I said eyes. I didn't mean to say eyes. The lights went like this.
Right.
And then it slowly went back to where it was. Back up, and there was one. Yeah. And I sat there like this going, what did I just experience? And I'm a logical man, and I'm trying to process, and I'm trying to ravel it in, and I'm trying to wrap it up, and I'm trying to tuck it in my pocket and shut my mouth. And all the way home, I'm going like I'm a of the earth, blood, flesh, primitive, primate. This is not supposed to be happening.
Yeah.
This is not supposed to be. We put a game camera 30 yards directly aimed at the chair. Everything was gone, and there was nothing on the game camera.
Was there any interference in the camera?
Oh, well, let me tell you something about the interference. Remember when they ran by us? I told you about that on the left, and I'm over here with my live YouTube, and I go, there he is right there. It's right there. Yep. And all of a sudden, I look at my screen. They go, your screen's black.
Uh-huh.
Ask them. They were all here. Everybody on the right was here. D-Hood, Sam, they were like, your screen went black. And I was looking at a frozen. Sorry, I get a little looking at a frozen screen. Didn't realize it of my imagery in front of me, but I was not rolling.
Yeah.
So I had to clear out of YouTube and then go back into YouTube.
Yeah. You know what causes that?
Talk to me.
Infrasound.
Bang! We're back to infrasound. I knew it was unbelievable.
You have my phone.
The Army has done experiments, and I had to dig for this. I had to dig pretty deep, but the infrasound will interfere with electronics. It'll drain batteries, just like EMF.
Yep,
we've had that happen. Yeah. Big time. And it was
phone inverted. It
flipped his phone camera around to where we were looking at his chest, and I go, bro, you right after that incident,
like a GoPro. And then, I have it facing out towards the woods. I got the audio, but all of a sudden, like everything's inverted into my chest. I go, no way. I go, what just happened? Because we were trying to look at the picture. I go, Richie, I'm telling you, it was not inverted. It was outverted. No way. But at least I got the sound. But the sound on there, it's that loud where we're talking over 60, 70 feet. Where all this happened. Yeah. That's pretty loud that my phone picked up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. And for them to say that to me, I couldn't believe it. All my friends on the right, everybody that you see there right now was there. and they heard my reaction and me yelling like I was yelling. I was like, whoa, I know I should be like, shh, I hear something. Let's see what happens next. But no, not me. I'm like, there you are. I found you. You know what I mean? Like, I win. You know, I get so excited as I am right now having this conversation, just reliving it is amazing. And then to have you throw something out like that is amazing too, because you scientifically have researched this area, and we need answers because we're going through this. And who do you tell, right? Who do you talk? Oh yeah, no, I know. I didn't get them because my camera went black. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah, okay.
This guy's lying again. You know what I mean?
It's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. What about Joko?
Oh, there he is.
Sorry, I had to put my light on.
But but yeah, I've gone on lots of night investigations, and I think the most memorable one would be from a research trip that we took out to Oklahoma.
Yep.
And we were with a group of, there were about 14 of us all together. And we were there for a week, and everybody except for one person saw at least one Bigfoot, that entire week.
Wow.
And it was fantastic. Oklahoma is an amazing state. It's amazingly active.
Do you know Brian Terrell?
Pardon me?
Do you know Brian Terrell from Red Dirt Cryptids?
No, I don't think so.
Look him up. Great man, great investigator, great researcher out of Oklahoma. Amazing dude. If you ever have anything you want to know about Oklahoma, he'll point you in the right direction. Not a gatekeeper, total sharer.
Yeah.
Love that dude. That's the people we love to hang with.
Yeah, I was with Tim Kumbo Baker, who is in charge of it, and Chuck Schlobs from Oklahoma, and quite a few other ones. I mean, really great group of guys and ladies. But the one evening, we were in an area nicknamed Purgatory.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's your first mistake, Mary.
I had heard about it. I had heard quite a bit about it, so I was excited to go there. Denny O'Donnell, I was not in Area X, although I have been near there.
Ooh, Denny coming up with some pinpoint action. Huh, Denny? Good to see you, buddy.
I've been near there, but this was in southern Oklahoma, and near Anadarko. And what happened that evening was Tim Baker, Kumbo, he was experimenting with a new technique. And this technique involved blowing on an instrument. And the particular sound that this instrument makes is, once you reach this particular frequency, particular pitch, and volume, it is absolutely irresistible to the Bigfoot. They have to respond.
Really?
They have to. Yes.
Is this like a type of flute?
Henry, yes. Henry, yeah.
Henry what?
Exactly.
Oh, we are very smart. Listen, the people we have here are amazing. They're all so into this, and they have a plethora of knowledge. There's my word of the night. It's plethora.
Yeah, Kumbo was the very first one to use a shofar.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the first one. And I highly advise, no matter exactly, Henry, it's biblical. And so that's your first warning as to this instrument. It's biblical, and the results that you get are extremely dangerous. I cannot stress that enough. That we were in a group of 14, and that was for a reason.
Really?
That was for safety.
Oh my!
Because believe me, if we were in a smaller group, we would have been ripped apart. There were 3 Bigfoot that responded to that call. Each one was in totally opposite directions, maybe 3 or 4 miles out. And they responded by roaring. Just, you could tell they were pissed.
Really?
And they came in running. They were hot and heavy, roaring all the way.
Wow.
And here we are. We're the 14 of us, well, really 13 of us, huddled together. My sister was still in the truck, just totally oblivious as to what was going on, thank God.
Mm.
But we heard them coming in, and they stopped about 50 yards out. And, this was right around midnight. We could see shadows moving around, in the bushes. We could hear them. But whenever they came in that close, they were quiet, but, we could tell they were moving around. And, but they didn't come any closer. And the impression, and Kumbo and I have spoken about this quite a bit, the impression that we got was they were waiting for another signal, which they did not get, and thank God, because
Interesting.
it would have been Book of Revelations level.
When you're going into this, does the gentleman understand that irritates, or what is the reasoning for the?
The shofar, it's to call them during the last days.
Okay, so they get worked up because are they thinking it's the last days?
Yeah, that's why they stopped and waited, because there's a second call that they did not receive, and that the only one that'll blow that shofar at whatever particular pitch that they'll get at that time.
That's crazy.
But it's destruction time. That's whenever everyone who's left on the earth will be ripped apart.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't think we're doing that, Woj.
No, please don't.
No, there's there is no need for please, Miss Mary. There is no need
to go there.
Yeah, because there's, once Tim, Kumbo started talking about the shofar, there were a lot of foolish people out there talking about, oh, I have to go out and grab a shofar now.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they'll get a response, and maybe a call to arms, yeah. But like I said, you are playing with powers beyond your comprehension, and I cannot say it any more stressfully than that. It's something that I highly advise not to fool with.
Right. Yeah, no, and we're not ones to fool with things. Peanut butter is our limit, to be honest with you. Maybe some honey once in a while. But we're not going that crazy, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, and that's a good point that you bring up, and when you are doing this, if you're out there, understand what you're doing, and there's times where we're on the edge, we feel where we've kind of gone beyond it a little bit, but we try to learn from them.
Wow.
And then communicate with them. What do we do? What happened?
Dreams interpreter. She had a dream like that.
Oh, sorry. Where was it?
Oh,
wow. You had a dream like that?
Wow.
What, with the shofar? Is that what she's talking about?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Interesting.
You guys are scaring me.
Yeah.
Dude, we've gone all over the place tonight. This has been crazy. Yeah. We've actually run over 9 minutes. I could run. I mean, who's the boss, really? Just Wojo. Nobody listens to him. You know what I mean? No. I would want to listen to Wojo.
I can't even listen to myself.
Listen, I love that. I love this whole conversation. I love the open-mindedness of it. This is huge for me. I just think it's so important, as you do, It was a lion coming from the sky in my dream, and then others followed.
Wow.
All right, I'm out. I'm leaving. Wojo, close out the show. Gotta go. I'm done.
Fascinating.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
I really love and respect her. She's amazing.
Okay, the roar she thought was a lion. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see that. I see where we're going with this. I got Mary Fabian's pictures. I'm trying to look for your. I had it, that amazing logo of yours. Oh, Richard.
I sent you, I don't know, God knows how many photos, a lot.
I was going through them and they kept coming in separately, but they'd go into an email or Google Drive that I didn't have permission to. So I was pulling out the ones that it let me do. But I got to be honest with you. No offense, but I don't need a picture to sit down and have a great conversation with you.
No.
I am very, 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 very happy with this whole interview and your openness and honesty, and just amazing.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I love that. I just love goodbye, Tim. Try not to cut off your other foot. If you want to get rid of the other foot, put a shofar in your mouth and go out in the woods.
No.
Not really. Just kidding. The opinions of the show is not... But I could do a fast talking thing for my show, for the show, Wojo. Don't believe anything this idiot says.
No, I can continue from that story, from that night.
Oh, go ahead.
After nothing happened, and eventually the Bigfoot went away, and we waited around a little bit longer. Nothing happened, so we figured, well, it's 12:30 at night. We've got 3-hour drive back to camp, so it was time for us to go. So we pulled out in our caravan of 7 vehicles, and we pulled out on, I can't remember what highway it was. It's heading towards Anadarko, and one of the vehicles was having problems running. I don't know what engine troubles he was having, but we all pulled over into the parking lot of a casino, and so we're sitting there, and everybody else, went over to the guy, that's having problems with his truck, and they're helping him with his truck. Well, the 4 of us in our friend's truck, we were tired. We said, heck with it. We're just going to stay in here. So I was sitting behind the driver, and my sister was sitting next to me on the passenger side. Chuck Schlobs was in the front passenger seat. And the driver and my sister, both of them were fairly inexperienced. It didn't matter where we were, as soon as we would stop, they would get on their phones and start texting or playing on their phones or whatever. Anyway, their face was in their phones. They're not aware of their surroundings.
Right.
Whereas Chuck and I were more experienced. We know that no matter where you're at, you always maintain situational awareness. And so, we are looking out the windows. Now, mind you, we're in the parking lot of a casino.
Oh boy.
And all of a sudden, I noticed, I saw movement. A Bigfoot came running out between the 2 buildings, the casino and the building next door, ran across the brightly lit parking lot.
Oh my God.
Through the pickup trucks, across the highway, and into the woods on the other side. And Chuck said, "Did you see that?" And I said, "Yeah." And my sister and the driver, they got their heads up out of their phones and said, What happened?
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. Just Mr. Class A.
Yeah. So, Chuck and I, a little bit later, were comparing notes, and, I asked him, how long do you think it took, do you estimate it took for him to run that distance? And, Chuck and I both agreed right around 3 seconds. And offhand, I can't remember how many yards that is. Because I looked on Google Earth and measured the distance. So I took the time, 3 seconds, along with the distance, and so I was able to estimate just about how fast he was running. And I always ask everyone, I say, take a guess. Yeah, he was, mind you, he was running full out across that parking lot. And take a guess. How fast do you think they can run?
50.
Oh, a Bigfoot?
Yes, full out.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's a great question. I don't know, because I got the woo in my brain too. I could say realistically 45 miles an hour or wooed out at 65.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? I think it's pretty good.
Same guess? Anyone from the audience?
Anybody from the audience, you got to guess at how fast Bigfoot can run.
About like
Henry says 50 to 55.
Not bad. Okay.
All right. Henry's the closest. I figure 52 miles an hour.
Oh man, 52. So, because he said 50. All right. So I was at 45. All right. He got me by 5. Whatever, Henry. No, I agree. No, I mean, I think that's realistic. I mean, think about what creatures can run, cheaters or whatever. You don't know, however you want to look at it. But there's other creatures besides just cats that can run fast. You know what I mean? I think that's interesting as heck. Now, how do you say again how you deciphered all that numbers?
Okay, 3 seconds it took him to run from point A to point B.
Okay.
From the casino building where I first spotted him.
Right.
Where he went into the woods.
Okay.
And versus the time.
What the hell?
Or the distance, from the time, 3 seconds, and the distance from the casino across.
We're trying to talk science here, Wojo. Who's texting you that thing goes boing? Like, who does that?
Well, I did. Every time I'm looking at Mary because I'm just like picturing all this. All of a sudden,
I am too. And then all of a sudden, this big boing comes flying out.
Boing.
Boing.
Well, so you did the distance. So basically, you did the the picture and
yes.
52 miles an hour. That's nuts. And it sounds about right from what I had rumbling by me in the woods.
Yeah.
The way that thing picked up pace and then went dead silent.
What is going on? What is going on?
It's a miracle.
Oh my
yeah. Why are you playing with a shofar in your living room? I'm just kidding. I know it don't sound like that, but it was like biblical music coming from you.
I almost peed my pants because it scared the hell out of me. Mary, this
hallelujah.
Never happened. All I hear is yeah. I'm like, what?
Oh my God, what is wrong with you? I want to back up. Amanda said hi to you, Mary, and that she loves you.
Oh, thank you, Amanda. Hi.
You know who that is, obviously. Amanda's Crazy Life channel. There you go. I just wanted to make sure I pointed that out. I think that's amazing. The whole idea, just tracking to a trail, they have at least a 6-foot stride. Yeah, we've measured anywhere from for the smaller ones, mid-50s and all the way up to 73 for a stride, and that doesn't mean that's even accurate. It could be bigger than that. So
right. Oh my God, depending on how fast they're running and
what pace they're going at, right? But the biggest stride I've ever seen was 73. I'm 69 inches, add 4, so you're right around 6 feet.
Yeah.
That. You know what I mean?
And then whenever they leap, they can leap some pretty good distances, 15, 20, 30 feet. That's why I tell people, who say, oh, they go out in the woods or out in the field, they're following their tracks and their tracks just stop. And I say, well, they can backtrack and they will backtrack on their own trail, but also you have to extend your search out to 30, 40 feet
Right.
from that footprint, from that last footprint, because they can leap. They'll stop and then they'll leap out just to evade you because they know they're being followed.
Right. They know that you got to track their prints or whatever the case might be. And that's one good thing that a lot of people don't talk about. They always go, "Oh, there's only one print. Tell me about that."
Right.
And I've caught them taking a right or a left.
Yeah.
We've definitely have measured that. We actually have one with the Vogel brothers that had a rock in it. And you could almost see the ball of the toe pivoted on the rock and broke it free from the dirt.
Right.
As it stepped into tall grass.
Mm-hmm.
So those types of things you can track and figure out if you're very careful and work together, right? And be calm and cool and collected. But to think about them leaping is something that isn't really talked about a lot.
No.
You know what I mean? It really isn't, but
No.
it's a great possibility. I think it makes sense. That's the problem. A lot of the world don't want to make sense no more.
Yeah.
They think we're the crazy ones. What's that?
I was hunting, I got a deer, okay, but what happened is that that was a long time ago, no more. But what I'm just saying about a deer, how a deer can just is there in a full run, how they can go like straight to like 90 in a 90-degree angle, take a huge leap,
Mm-hmm.
About approximately maybe like 15 feet jump, 15-foot jump, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
Again, now you got like creatures out there that are like about 8 feet tall. They can do anything out there.
Yeah.
And I believe that they do cover their tracks, by grabbing like branches and just kind of try to hide their prints, knowing that people like us are coming out and saying hello. But sometimes there are those prints that we find that you find the one print. Where's the rest?
Yeah, they'll brush out their tracks too in
We were talking about
gravel or in the dirt. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's great. We just talked about this. We just had a conversation with a couple of things that you have brought up.
Yeah, Mr. Duffy made a comment. I'm not a TV star. I've appeared, but I've on TV, but I'm not hardly a TV star.
Yes, you are. You're on the Banter with RichiebB podcast, so you are a superstar.
All right. Yeah. That's something.
Thanks, D Shizzle, and for some of the other newbies on here. We really appreciate you guys being here and
meathead.
This conversation with Mary. Oh my God, what is?
Sorry, I had to get rid of the meathead. So, anyways, I'm a TV star. Ha ha. Take that, dummy.
Yes.
Yes. Moving on. Goodbye. I don't know what my admins were, but I got it. Jerks. Thanks, Richie. You beat me to it. Oh, there she is. Sorry. What a meathead. Listen, if you got nothing better to do than come on a podcast and say stupid things on a Saturday night, perhaps you ought to go look in the mirror and rethink your whole process.
Yep.
Dumbass.
If that's worse that we hear tonight, then that's good.
We did good, man. We did good. So this is what I'm going to do, because I was checking out some of your page, by the way.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Have you ever been on TV though?
Yes.
What were you on?
I was on Not Finding Bigfoot TV show.
Did you say Not Finding Bigfoot?
Yes.
That's right. Yep.
Wait. Okay, that sounds like something kind of stuck in your craw a little bit there. So you're the same way as I am when it comes to that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, we don't talk those 4 letters around here.
No.
Yeah.
I was in, let me see. The episode was Paranormal Squatchtivity. And I think it was in March of 2015. And I only appeared. I did not speak. I only appeared in the episode. I was in the town hall, sitting right next to the microphone. So every time someone came up to the microphone, there I was. So I appeared on camera more than anybody else.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because we did a taping for Expedition X. So yeah, not too long ago. So we haven't heard. I mean, we don't know what's going to go on with that. But I wasn't very friendly when the director was trying to direct me into saying things that I wasn't going to say. Oh, you should say that there was a giant bipedal Bigfoot that was, you know, chasing you with a knife and a shofar. You know what I mean? And I'm like, not going to say that, dude. Yeah, 3 times, to the point where the actor had to jump in and go, he's not saying that.
Yeah.
He's a researcher. He's not going to go there.
Right.
And that's what I said. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Go away. I'm good. I was reluctant to even be here. I thought it would be, you know, fun and exciting for my friends, but I'm not going to change my life. This is my life. This is my passion and my life. And I'm not going to do it for you because you got a camera in front of me and go, yay. You know what I mean? There we go. Oh, I got more trolls in here. Richie, you're a fragile little baby. If you couldn't handle me talking in the forum, dude, what are you talking about?
Wow.
I don't have an ego, sir. You obviously have not watched my show. If you're going to be rude to my guests, I don't care what your name is, then you need to beat feet, and I don't care who you are or where you're from or whatever. Have a good day and keep climbing, friend. Oh, that was weird. He got blocked too.
Yeah, if he thinks that this is ego, he's there's so much ego and power and money hungry people out there in this field. It's sad.
Yep.
That's what it sounds like to me, Mary. It sounded like another. You know,
it's just, it could be ugly out there, right? And I tell everybody all the time, I'm broke, man. I'm not doing this to make money. I'm trying to find out what the hell happened to me in my backyard.
Yeah, really,
that's all I'm trying to do.
You're not going to get rich.
There's no rich here, and if I'm going to try to pick anything, it's not going to be Bigfoot.
Yeah, between the gear, you know, all your electronics and the travel and everything else, you're in the hole.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah. And they act like I want, you know, or fame or something. I love that one. You want fame. So you come on my podcast and poop on my head and now I'm famous? Like, seriously, you think I want to deal with that? I got 7 kids, dude. I'm busy. I ain't got time for your crap. You know what I mean? Like go away, you know?
Yeah, where's my check?
If I wanted to be on some of the very large podcasts, I could have been. I turned them down.
Right.
Because I don't want to have the name. I don't want to be out there. I turn down 90% of the invitations that I get.
Yeah. And I'm glad you didn't turn this one down because Wojo is magical.
Well, you must have said something that struck me just the right way or hit me right at the right time because
I love it. I seriously love this interview, and I am way over, and I do got to go help with the children. So, you know, because I don't have a butler because I'm poor. So shut up.
I know. I got a snoring dog over here. I mean,
oh, you always have a snoring
I need a dog.
Every time that snoring dog shows up, I'm like, Bigfoot?
Yeah. And my dog's trying to push me off the chair.
Yeah, well, yes. She's amazing. So check this out, everybody. Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project. I see you near 20,000 followers, members, or however you say it.
Yeah.
I love, this is the thing that stuck out the most. And if you're part of my show and part of the Banter with Richie B crew and family, respect, help, share, knowledge, learn more and have fun. I think you've heard that phrase, maybe not verbatim, but you get the picture here, folks. Yeah. This is why I'm so excited here. This is exactly how we think around here. That other nonsense that we just saw, that is not how we do things. So what is all that? Oh, that's my Facebook. So I was looking at your picture and it went off and all my family showed up. Like, the hell they doing here? Get out of here. I thought I was on Mary's page. Where's Mary's page? I want to see it. Oh, there it is. This is the home page. And then it says,
it's $20 plus $5 shipping. And get on my group on Facebook to order. That's really about the best way to contact me. Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project. I'm the founder.
Yes, you are. She's the founder of this very big project and page. I think it's amazing. An author as well, not an actor, not a TV star,
No.
but was appeared in the show on one episode more than anybody. Remember that. I just told off a director and probably never be on any show. I was nice. I just was like, no, not doing it. But anyways, I just think this has been an amazing show. We got to know you personally, and I thank you again for that, for sharing that. I know how it can be. Maybe that's why we're here together tonight. So
I appreciate it so much.
Maybe there's two little friends up there talking, going, hey, dude, I have an idea. So I think that would be pretty amazing. So this has been pretty epic interview for me. Absolutely the exact, I think the epitome of what I wanted to do this month to honor my mother, who I lost in August, to Alzheimer's and dementia. And this has been very therapeutic for me. And I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing from you again. And hopefully maybe we get to work together.
I hope so.
I think that would be amazing, because I got to tell you something. It's totally different when you're out in those woods and you're being a researcher. And it's awesome because we've gotten so close and made so many friends.
Yes.
I want to thank you for being here tonight. It was an absolute honor and pleasure. I want to send kudos to my friend Wojo and co-host for finding you and convincing you.
Yes.
You are one of the 7%.
Well, if you watch Mary's podcast, Monkey Wrench,
yes,
I'll tell you, she's got amazing guests on there, and I'll tell you, and all the followers on there are just like really, really knowledgeable, just like our group here, like awesome.
Yeah, they are. Yes, my podcast is on every Wednesday evening, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And it's through the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project channel, YouTube channel. But I call it the podcast is the Monkey Wench, WENCH.
Yes, not wrench. I knew that.
Monkey Wench podcast.
Great. Now you dropped a few percentages. Damn it, Wojo. We had her. Say it again. What night and what night and what time? Sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I just want to stay on that subject. What night and what time? Say it again.
Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Monkey Wench.
Yes.
She named it after Wojo. So tune in Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern Time to the Monkey Wench on YouTube, and it's the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project YouTube channel.
Yes.
So I'm going to make sure we're following each other, and I'm liking and subscribing. I think I am already, but if you're not, please get over there, like and subscribe, support that podcast. Here's some more amazing stories from Mary. Go over and become a member of the Facebook page as well that I shared with you, and all my family members I apparently shared with you. You were just an absolute pleasure. Ron, thank you for that. Everybody on the side, you guys are all amazing. I had an amazing time. And this is what I'm talking about, Mary, right here has been therapeutic for all those precious things in life. This is therapy. Yep. And sitting with you was absolutely 100% therapeutic tonight. And thank you. And spiritual. I really mean that with all my heart. Thank you. And I just want to do this. We're going to end the show like this. Obviously, follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all Banter RichieB. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the notify button, because guess what, folks? We have not been out to the gifting chair in a little while. But tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, the Wojo, myself, and perhaps a few guests you don't know about yet are coming out live on YouTube tomorrow on a Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. to go back into our research area that we miss so much and need so greatly. So please join us live on YouTube tomorrow. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I want to say I love you, baby Jack. I love you, Mama. Thank you so much. Wojo, I want you to take us out of here.
All right, Richard. Hey, thank you all for being on here. And to you new folks, we love you. Thank you. Bye. We got some cool merch. Buy the merch. And by the way, we are home of the boom. Let's go. See you guys again. Oh, double one, Mary.